And Megan started crying, weeping.
And he goes, "And go back to the ship."
She's crying right now. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we highlight and discuss a new series each week. But today we're back with more One Piece, which means that my name is Josh, the Bull Michaels, and today I am joined by
Mehgan, Puff Puff Tom Perrine.
And Nolan D. Liar. You already know what it is.
He's been waiting so long to say that.
It's the return of Nolan the Liar, which is a reference we finally get.
We finally understand. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a Usopp reference, but then I was like, okay, they're just spoiling something? Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's good to know now.
It's great to know.
It's great to be in the inn.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Of course, today we are talking about One Piece. It's another Done Piece episode. Today, we are finally covering the Water 7 arc, the first part of the Water 7 arc. That is chapters 322 through 348. It was so important to bring Nolan back. We had to bring him back for this behemoth of an arc. This is a lot of pressure. This video and this episode is a lot of pressure because this is the arc that everybody has been hyping up, that everybody has been calling peak One Piece. I know Nolan hates that. But I loved what I read, and I want to get both of your thoughts before I go on. So, Mehgan, let's get actually Nolan's thoughts first. You've read this. You've read, you're caught up. For those of you who don't know, Nolan's caught up on the manga. But take yourself back. What is this like in the grand scheme of things? Like Water 7, what does it mean to you?
Water 7. Yeah, definitely a transitional arc. The series definitely isn't, I could say that it's not going to be the same after, but it'll retain its own. It has a certain formula to it, but it definitely, especially with what we find out at the end of like these chapters, it's just like you kind of see what the main plot of the series can be about and what is really important,
Yeah.
And watching it when I was a little younger, it was really good.
Yeah, it was
really
great.
Good.
Yeah.
They do it pretty well in the anime for the most part, and just the stuff that happens is everything that I didn't I was expecting at a certain point in the story, like the conflict, the inner conflict, but I didn't expect it to like reach certain levels. But
it was
really
dramatic as hell.
It was pretty dramatic.
I was like,
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, even the anime, a lot of people were saying in the comments that this is, when it kind of made the transition in the anime to HD, and you can tell, man, that thing looks crisp, clean.
Amazing.
It was amazing. And, because of, some of the other comments as well, we took their advice and decided to watch and read this part of the series, this arc. And it was beautiful, man. And there were a lot of moments that I feel like were elevated because of the anime. Like, especially with the conflict between Usopp and Luffy.
The voice actors.
The voice actors. The
I can't.
music,
I said
the
voice
flashbacks.
actors.
Literally, I probably like burst into tears like twice just reading this. I did. No, I did. Like Usopp and like even Luffy too. Like everyone got so emotional, and I was not ready for that at all. Like at all. And like the merry-go and like what that symbolizes with their group and like what it symbolizes for Usopp, since that that's from his hometown. That's like the girl that he kind of like. I mean, I don't know if they grew up together necessarily, but he was always around her, and then it was gifted from her to them. And, him fixing it himself, and then something else that happens that we kind of got a little hint at in G8, which is like what's
in
like
G8
going
and
on
in Skypiea.
in Skypiea, like what's actually like Usopp, like what he saw go down, because the ship kind of mysteriously.
Yeah, Usopp's got like some sort of spiritual connection.
Yeah, with the
To
merry-go.
the ship.
With the
Literally
merry-go or
has
the
a
going
spiritual
merry.
connection.
Yeah. So it's like.
Yeah, it was intense.
It was
It got real. I mean, this is a group of people who, up until now, have just been running around acting like, just goofballs. I mean, they get serious, and Luffy
when they need to be.
Yeah, when they need to be. And
like,
Luffy,
there's no point in like fighting each other, but there's always going to be conflict. So,
Luffy's kind of stepped up as a captain in a lot of ways since, obviously the very beginning. But even here, their team, I mean, their dynamic shifts, and it gets real. And when it gets real, it gets real. I mean, I believe every,
I know,
scream, every word, every tear. It's amazing and intense, very intense.
And Water 7 is such a freaking dope place.
Yep.
It's
That's
so
cool.
lit. I love the cows. What are they?
The bulls. Yeah.
I love them. They're so cute.
Yeah.
And it just transported me. And this is another like fun place where, of course, there's drama going down. There's all this stuff going down, but like the scenery,
the
like
setting,
the Laguna Niguel. No, just kidding.
Aqua
Laguna. Like, I was like, that's added to the mix. Like it was just so great.
Yeah. Compared to Skypiea, you could say that this arc feels a little more grounded. Killing
it.
It does feel though.
You could say that like Skypiea is kind of like water under the bridge at this point.
Oh, you could say that.
Oh,
you could say that 7 times. No, it does. Skypiea was fantastic. It was grandiose. It was like big.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
romanticized adventure. Yes,
adventure to the max. And this feels like kind of like spy, mystery, government.
Exactly.
007.
Yeah.
Water 7.
007, Water 7.
Oh my God. James Bond.
Nico Robin.
Dude, these guys are so on it.
I mean, we deciphered it. Yeah, man. This was so intense. And, we had talked off mic just about how everybody talks about this being the greatest One Piece arc and peak One Piece, and how sometimes that can put a lot of pressure on people discovering it or reading it for the first time.
Like even just saying that at this point in the story is just like, okay, well then you already set the bar for them, and to say that you want to enjoy certain aspects more later in the series is at this point you guys have liked like the things that you like. There's fans of the series that absolutely hate like East Blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys liked a lot of things. Like I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff in the story coming up that you guys will be just as impressed with. But also just saying anything is peak before somebody goes into it. I'm just like, how about you just let them like be surprised by things?
Yeah. And calling, like you said too, calling anything peak is.
Really calling it literally anything, anything peak is
like,
a little much.
Yeah,
like,
kind of like you're kind of saying it without saying it that it gets worse from here. That
like,
this is the best it's gonna get.
Like,
and then
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
get worse.
you understand what you mean when you say things like that. Of course you want them to. Of course, like I feel a lot of people do feel like that is like the peak for them in the story, which is great. But again, like you're just setting it up for them not to feel like it ever surpassed this or it ever reached this level again.
Right.
So which I don't believe, but
yeah. And we get to meet finally Frankie.
It's dope though. Yeah.
Finally
Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
And his voice actor and that performance and his theatrical entrances, like seeing him in the anime come
it's
in,
my fucking guy,
dude. And you start hearing the music and his silhouette.
Music's great.
He's great. Like he's so great, and I love that. I had talked about before. When I was younger, I kind of went a little out of order and don't recommend that anybody ever do that, or ever does that or should do that. But I remember reading a little bit of Water 7 or watching more specifically a little bit of Water 7. And a lot of it, some things here and there do feel familiar, but it was so long ago that thankfully I don't remember a lot of it. And I don't remember Frankie being set up as like a villain character in the very beginning.
An antagonist.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, the catalyst for the fight between Usopp and Luffy.
Exactly.
Like if it wouldn't have been for Frankie, then
it probably wouldn't have happened like that at all.
Or like, how like towards the end, now we know like how he is connected with everything that is occurring. Not only just like him being a character that's introduced just to be
ridiculously
on the team.
Right.
No, it's like, oh no, he's like a main part of like what's going behind the scenes with Robin and everything
with
else.
the pawn glyphs and
like
with
what?
all that
Like
stuff
literally everything.
Yeah, that we've
probably
been building up to.
So integral. And this is why I said that Robin was like so ridiculously important to the story. Like
you start to really, definitely feel that.
Yeah, just they really open up the plot a lot. They show you what the story is going to be about.
Just what she's more capable. Obviously she has the fruit, like she has that devil fruit power, but like how she and her knowledge is just like she's capable and she's like the only one who could do this one thing that could make or break everything. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I still don't know. I'm kind of like on Team Luffy a little bit. I don't think she's being completely honest either with everything that she's saying and everything that's kind of being revealed about her.
Well, she has, like she said, she has her own goal that she wants to get past. Like, I can't do this thing if you guys are involved. Right. Which I think that has been like what we've been explained before, like how Robin or Nico's like, she'll go from group to group to group to like get certain things to further herself and what she wants to do. It doesn't matter if it's like working for the government or working for pirates. Like she's just trying to move forward. But obviously we're going to see her backstory soon, which I'm super excited about because we've had sprinkles and like it's just crazy. I know it's going to be a lot, but I'm sure I'll shed more tears.
Delayed backstory for the Straw Hats yet.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because there's like a whole saga before where even like Robin we haven't even seen her backstory yet.
But I think that's like also like the genius of Oda too, because it's like purposely done. Yeah. Because by the time it gets to Water 7, you even as a reader, you also like the Straw Hats are like, oh yeah, I really don't know anything about her.
And you forget like to even ask. Or like sometimes I like when I was reading Water or when I was watching Skypiea, I forgot that there would even be a backstory for Robin.
Right.
Like I just didn't even think of that at the moment. But then as soon as Aokiji popped up, like I promise you, as soon as Aokiji pops up, like in the story is like, it just goes
nonstop.
Yeah.
You feel that though. You feel that from the moment he is introduced.
Like it's Skypiea is definitely the end of a certain type of era of One Piece. So.
That's awesome.
I could feel
it to an extent. But it's like, like the feelings you felt before, like they'll still like be there and stuff. But as you can tell, like the plot is really like starting to take center focus. You know?
Yeah, and I love that, dude. And I love that. Like I think I told you off mic too that like I finally feel now like I really get the world, and I really like. And I know that there are so many things I still don't know or don't get, but like.
No, but you exactly.
Like
that's what Skypiea was meant to do for sure.
The different types of devil fruit, and how the hierarchy of like the power of those devil fruit, and just like what people, the poneglyphs, the ancient weapons. I mean, I feel like it all makes sense, and it was all purposeful. Everything that might have seemed absurd in the beginning, or funny, or cute, or goofy, or silly, it could have been that, and also like very purposeful. And like matters and means something.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Oda does best.
Exactly. I would agree.
That's it. Yeah. Like I'm so. I mean, obviously, it was hard to see my faves, and of course my baby crying. I don't like when I see my baby crying. Everyone knows that.
He might have one of the worst cries in. Like,
he's an ugly crier.
It's so.
It's just like
touches your
terrifying.
heart.
It's just like, oh my god. It's like
because he's like a baby. He cries like a baby.
It's terrible.
And it's insane. And like his relationship. I mean, all of them have like a good relationship with Usopp. Like Luffy and Usopp are like, I would say, like best friends.
Like they kind of feel like brothers.
BFF brothers.
They're like
and
the brother.
Chopper like looks up to them so much, and especially Usopp. And like he's always asking like, what are you building? Like Usopp, you're like best. And like blah blah. Like that's his homie too. So when all this is going down, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, and that's what I think the anime did so much better. Like we talk about, me and Nolan, we've talked about like, series like Naruto and stuff that like, and even showing that to Mehgan, how it suffers and it feels like it's bogged down by all these flashbacks. But in One Piece, when you're watching that conversation, that argument, that fight between Usopp and Luffy, it's the flashbacks that really help like intensify that feeling of just like sadness, because they're flashing back to when, not just when Luffy and Zoro, and everybody met him in Syrup Village, but like, it shows like Sanji's personal moments with him, Nami's personal moments with him, like Chopper, like everybody. And it really like, it keeps flashing back to these moments. And it really, it's like, it's punching you harder and harder and harder every time. It's beautiful.
And it's just like, it's like a solidified, like how he's been feeling during this whole process. Like we've seen it here and there of him thinking that he's like not good enough. The whole journey. He's like, I'm not as like monstrously strong as you guys. I don't have this. I don't have that. You guys have this. You have that. Like everyone has something but me. But he doesn't like realize like how important he is to the crew and everyone else. Like the merry-go wouldn't have been shit without him helping move it along the way. Like the dials, like that fight was so insane.
That was one of the best fights, bro.
I don't know if like, I wasn't sure if like Luffy was like holding back, or he just couldn't like regain like trying to like even remotely like get a hit on Usopp.
It is what Usopp said. Usopp said like, I know you. Like I know your strengths, I know your weaknesses, I know your personality, I know how you respond and react to things. Like I have an advantage. But also like to hear Usopp in that argument say that this is something I've been thinking about for a long time.
I know.
That was crazy. And he said, I was going to bring it up sooner. But this seems like the perfect time, and it was like, damn, dude, this whole time.
Then
I mean, that was the money. I mean, that was like
Frankie
a
family.
Yeah,
The
it was
Frankie
a huge
family
thing.
fucked everything
They,
up. Yeah.
I hate them.
Fucking
I hate them
Frankie.
so much.
Yeah.
I hate them so much.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I'm glad. I'm glad his house
They
got
literally
destroyed.
exploded.
I'm glad.
It literally
Bro.
exploded.
I'm so happy. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, they really wrecked him, dude. They wrecked Usopp like multiple times, dude.
They
And
stomped him. They fucking
they
stomped him out.
They stomped
No,
him out.
they did.
It was they had the foot. You can still see the footprints,
Bro, they
all of their
jumped him.
footprints on him.
They
They
jumped
jumped him and they threw him out the side of the road outside their house. They're sick.
And this
They're
man,
sick,
this
dude.
man crawled into town. He did crawl, and he
Oh
crawled
my
away
God.
back to go get the money again.
Oh my
and
goodness, bro.
with his trail
Oh my
of
goodness.
blood footprints, like Usopp.
Live
Yeah.
action.
Bro,
Oh,
this would
You
make
guys
a
get
great.
stomped
See,
out.
dude, like, I think, like, going back to live action, like, Skypiea, impossible. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I could see them really, like, nailing
Nailing
this.
it.
Would
It's
Yeah.
like a
Skypiea-
James Bond movie.
Yeah.
would Skypiea be in like the second season though? Because
Third
then
season.
you
Hell
like
no, yeah,
oh
probably
like
like
third
third
season.
Because
Yeah.
second season would be
Chopper.
Alabasta.
Alabasta.
So it'd be like
Drum
from
Island,
Reverse
maybe.
Mountain all the way to the end of Alabasta.
They just started filming
Yeah.
today.
Oh yeah. Crazy man.
We'll see, man.
Oh
We'll
my
see.
god.
There's some vision behind it, man. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it, man. So we'll see.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm putting positive vibes out
I'm
there.
putting
dude.
positive.
I
vibes
have
on.
to.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be negative? Like no way. I can't.
Especially as you continue reading and you're
I
like,
know.
this is so cool. Like
Yeah.
I just hope
I hope.
I just hope they know what they're like reading too. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
just
get
hope.
more attached to it as you go, and you start
Mhm.
feeling like, come on, guys. Like, you start wanting to root for them more and more every chapter you read. Like, please
Yeah.
don't fuck this
And
up. Please
when-
don't fuck this
Uh,
up.
Rooting for them is like one of the main components because you meet other characters and you realize the only solution to their fucking problems would be the Straw Hats. Like
Yeah.
there is just like so much like heroism that I've ever seen in a story without actually acknowledging that it's heroism.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like Luffy in that sense is just like I really don't care about like I just want to help out the
Yeah,
people that are close to me.
Yeah.
But later on you'll see just like by proxy he's just helping people out, you know,
Yeah.
and going
Yeah.
around.
It's awesome too, because I mean he's had a bounty on his head for a while, but this
Mhm.
was like the first arc where it felt like to me, because in Skypiea, in you know, Sky Island or whatever, they didn't really like know much about what was going on.
No at all.
You know, in
But it was still like a complicated political
Yes.
and the same thing with Water 7 is that they're talking about this and that and this, but then Luffy comes through and he's like, I don't really care about any of that.
I don't really care, but now that they're back kind of like on ground, like Luffy has a reputation now, and it's
Yep.
kind of like the first time like you really felt that when he
Mhm.
goes into the Frankie house.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, that's Straw Hat Luffy,"
Mhm.
and they're
Mhm.
like scared. And
Mhm.
these fools are huge, dude, like
Mhm.
huge. And so that was the first moment where I was like, "Damn, like he really is making a name for himself." And when they all, you know, when they all see Usopp and how they go to defend the boy, you know, the boys go to defend the boy, and they
course.
all like,
Woo!
like, kinda-
square up, square
That shit
up.
was good in the
that
anime.
panel, that
The
panel, when they're
paneling was
all
good,
just
man.
like, and Chopper's like big boy. He's like,
They
I
were
was like,
ready.
oh.
That was the most ready that they probably looked. And
Yeah, and they go, it's not about the
Yeah.
money
Mhm.
anymore. You think it's about the money, you stupid bitches?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay.
yeah, I mean, without
Mhm.
question,
Without
hesitation.
question.
they
No,
were
of
there.
course not. It's Usopp.
Of course, yeah.
And they're all
of course.
stepping. They're all stepping to the Frankie house, and they're having those flashbacks of like, you know, him helping out, like him drawing the Jolly
just
Roger.
you know,
him
but
like,
it's funny how everyone else perceives him.
I
That's
and
true,
just,
know.
and just like bro, every time we look back on it, he's helping someone out. He's literally invented Nami's like whole weapon.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like he invented a weapon. Like,
Yeah.
And he just thinks so low of
he just thinks
himself.
very low of himself.
But that's also that was like, and that's what I love about the character writing and like how everything kind of
Yeah.
unfolds is even
Mhm.
Sanji, when Chopper wants to go help him, Sanji even realizes like, don't like Usopp is acting this way because he thinks that we pity him or he thinks
Yeah.
that he's not good
Mhm.
enough to like
Exactly.
be with us. So like, how do you think he's gonna feel when he wakes up after getting his ass beat? And we're babying him again. Like he wants
Yeah.
to feel like an equal. So like,
Oh my
let's have some
God.
faith in him. Like,
I'm literally gonna cry again. Like that.
it's
was-
really good, man. It's really good.
And then he's like, "Okay, Sanji, bye," and he still gives him
and
the
he,
stuff,
but he
and he
just
runs
drops
away.
it there. He just drops
But he
it
runs
there.
away, and it shows like Luffy crying, Chopper crying, Usopp laying on the floor crying.
In a
I'm like,
puddle of his own tears.
I
dude.
don't like
Yeah.
this. Like it made me
Bro, it
like
was
he's
like-
literally in a puddle of his
Literally.
own blood and
Literally.
tears, just like.
Literally.
And Luffy's like, "Did you really think you could beat me? Like, no, of
No,
course
he
not.
didn't.
He didn't.
Dude, Usopp was going in though. The
He was
dial
going
play.
in.
The dial play.
The dial
was
play.
masterful.
The dial play.
Yo,
The dial play.
dials are so sick.
Sick.
Usopp went crazy with the dials.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's not going to give up using dials.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Imagine the way he can implement. Dude, this is him. He had like 30 minutes to go. Like,
Yeah.
or he had like a couple hours.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, he got a couple
figure
hours.
shit like a plan out. But imagine when he gets back in the workshop and he starts like putting shit together and like
Please watch out. Please stop messing with him. Stop it.
he starts upgrading that slingshot.
Please stop.
You know? Yeah, man, this was crazy. This was intense. And to hear Luffy too say like there was the panel of him and he you know, it's just the back of his head and he's just like he pauses after everything and he's like, this is so hard. Like this is so hard.
And then Zoro's like,
this is the burden of being a captain. And like
Exactly.
if you falter, then who do we have to believe in?
Mhm.
You know, and you just got it's hard. And it's just like, you know,
like that's his brother. Like that's his
Yeah.
brother. Like
But also,
Zoro's
yeah.
the straight man when they were together. It was like Zoro, him, and you know Usopp, and like that's the big brother, and then the two little brothers like mess around and shit. And then Chopper added to the mix. Like they just have like such a family dynamic, and
yeah, they're
even,
family for sure.
Yeah,
even
for sure.
Nami's like, you're just gonna let him walk?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why aren't like? It was so crazy.
And it was just a thing of like, you know, no matter who you are, I feel like at a certain point in your life, dude, like certain moments you can really resonate with and they'll hit you even harder. Like for me, just like hearing, you know, some of these lines of dialogue, it was like almost like, you know, Oda was speaking directly to me, dude. I was like, this is crazy. You know, it's so, for everything that One Piece is, like, it's so real. You know, it's so real. Like
I would
And
say
it-
that's you hit it on the head.
it's
You hit it on
beautiful.
the head.
And it was
in more
so-
ways than way more ways than I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so satisfying. Like
Yeah.
obviously the conflict makes me sad, but it was so like real and sad because like it had built up to this moment. And the Marigo is such like an important part to who they are as like, I mean, Usopp as a person, because that he finally felt like, oh, I can do something. I could fix the ship for them because they can't. So when that's gone, he's like, what am I going to do? We have a ship that can work. What am I good for?
Mhm.
You know, even though he isn't a carpenter, and Luffy made that very clear. He's like, well, you're not. So he's like, well, I tried to be, and you know, whatever. But damn, like it was just so crazy to see that inner conflict for like pretty much the very first time. Like we've seen it through Sanji and Zoro, but it's always
that's
like playful.
Yeah.
And
This was real. This
you know,
was
like-
intense. This was like
Nami too, like at some points, like in the very beginning. But I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we've really seen.
Yeah.
So it was intense for sure.
yeah. Well, let's just start going through some of it because we got a lot to get through. Again, this is only the first part, and it towards the end, like it goes crazy. It goes off. But I mean, you know, it starts right after the interaction that they have with I forget the guy's name, Nolan, the guy with the Logia, the devil fruit, the freeze, the
Akuji?
Oh, Aokiji.
yeah,
Aokiji?
Aokiji.
Yeah.
Aokiji?
Oh, so Aokiji is like it's like a title. It's not his actual name.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
the admirals have like certain like code names. So
Code name.
Aokiji means blue pheasant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the other admirals have different names too.
Okay.
Mm.
He's a cool ass character too.
Yeah,
and
He's
like,
sick.
power, like you get like it just like he commands a presence, like even
Ridiculous
just like
power.
when he's just drawn or animated, like you feel
Yeah.
like in his character design, like this is a
Mhm.
powerful motherfucker right
Well, I
here.
just
Yeah.
like how he kind of like switched and turned on that switch where he's just like, yeah, I like lazy justice, and they're like, okay, dude, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Actually, I realized I can't let you go. So
Yeah.
this is what we're doing now.
Things like that will happen. Just like
Randomly.
no, like a character will pop up and be like, "This is what I'm about," and then be like, "Because of this, and this that happened in the world, that didn't happen, and that like affected everything else." It's
Yeah.
just like and then they mentioned like Luffy's grandpa, and like
Yeah.
so there are like multiple reasons as to why certain characters do certain things that relate to other characters, and
Yeah.
that is like near I would say that continues to like happen more and
Yeah.
more. Mm-hmm.
Because these characters have relationships with other
Yeah.
characters.
And they're part of a history.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've already been a part of like 20 plus years of a golden age of piracy.
Mhm.
So even when Gold Roger was around, that wasn't the golden age. The golden age happened after the king of the pirates
Right.
died, and that they wanted that all these pirates coming up in the golden age want the title of Pirate King. It didn't exist before. Like these pirates, all of these pirates that are happening now have existed because Gold Roger died and told them like the One Piece is here. This is how you can become king like me. But
that's crazy.
It's just like,
I mean, even me, like I'm just like, like you're talking, and I'm just like, this sounds fucking amazing. Yeah. But yeah, he's crazy. He's awesome. He froze Robin. He froze Luffy, and this takes place like right after they've been thawed, and they're kind of just trying to have like a day off. They're just trying to chill. They're just trying to relax.
And I love Luffy. He's like, oh, I froze it. And then Chopper and Usopp
it's
are like
so
laughing.
Goofy. It's the goofiest shit ever. Like it's so stupid.
He like covers himself in flour.
Yeah. They're literally on the ship like, like I can hear Usopp and Chopper laughing.
Nami's like, how can you joke about
that?
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you joking about?
Chill.
Stop.
They're just like, goofing off, having a good time, and then they see Yokozuna, the frog, I think is his name.
Yokozuna.
The freestyle frog.
The freestyle frog.
They're like, is that full? Is he freestyling right now? No, he couldn't be. He's just no. He's straight up freestyling. Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's necessarily the frog. I don't know what it is, but every time like I see something that I don't quite understand and an animal is involved, I think it's an Aesop fable, or something like that. I think it's like some sort of lesson, like the Aesop fable about the frog and the train. I don't know.
You are not wrong. That sounds good. Actually, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
That sounds good. Actually,
I mean, it tracks mentally.
It tracks.
The train tracks mentally.
Oh my god,
dude! What did you guys eat today? You guys are.
Bro, I had a donut.
I think you're just jumping to conclusions.
Oh wow.
Yo.
Oh wow.
We're leaps and bounds.
Cut your victories. This frog shows up and he comes to he like races towards this train that's on the water. They've never seen a train before, especially on the water. And he like throws himself right in front of this train and gets knocked out and flies across the ocean. And they're like, what is that? Is that a boat? What is that thing? It has like a chimney on it. Like it has steam, smoke coming out of it. And it kind of like goes through this station that has like a lighthouse on it and everything. And they kind of like, dock there, or they kind of just go into that train station, and then they meet Kokoro, Chimney, and Gonobi? Gonbi, the bunny, that bunny cat thing. The bunny cat thing.
He says meow and is like actually a rabbit. I'm like, oh, what the heck? They're so cute.
And Kokoro's just like wasted the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
She's awesome.
I actually really like Kokoro.
Yeah,
I love Kokoro.
I like her better than freaking what's her name from Skypiea.
What's her name?
Lady Amazon.
Lady Amazon.
Lady Amazon. Get Lady Amazon the fire.
No,
get her out of here.
She's a crook.
She's a crook.
She's a crook.
She was way too enthusiastic about like getting the info
selling
back
them
to
out.
Yeah.
Bro,
she's like, I'm like,
yeah.
Sock you in the face if you say one more word.
Amazon lady.
Yeah, she did kind of switch sides. She was kind of a little too eager.
She was eager. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I hate eager motherfuckers.
Like eager, chill,
Chill.
But yeah, they're all cool. Their character designs are wild. Like she looks crazy. Chimney looks hilarious but cute.
Yeah,
Chimney's so cute.
Oh yeah, I like Kokoro and her.
They
family.
reminded me of totally like Studio Ghibli characters.
Well,
like,
I mean, you see the train on the water too, and then you can't help but think of Spirited Away. Even though I think One Piece came out way before Spirited Away came out, or at least
I think so.
Yeah, it had to have, right? I mean, in my mind, it had to have. But yeah, you can't help but think of that, and then just see a little Ghibli in it, and maybe Miyazaki took some inspiration from Oda. I wouldn't be surprised because it does seem like someone else took some inspiration from Oda too. Someone by the name of Rebecca Sugar, creator of Steven Universe, because there's two characters you meet later on, like Frankie's like sisters. I'm like, oh, that's freaking like Pearl from Steven
Universe. Pearl
and
Garnet's hair.
Like,
that's literally it.
Yeah.
But it looks like, I mean, she has like Garnet's goggles and Garnet's hair and like Pearl's face, and it's just like, this is too specific.
Yeah, no, she outright said, yeah.
She did?
That Rebecca Sugar? She said that she likes One Piece.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
In the movie, there's a scene that is like, that's cool.
With Spinel, right?
Yeah, Spinel.
Yeah.
And Spinel literally is just like kind of like Luffy.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to go rewatch Steven Universe again.
No, there's like literally a YouTube video. It's like all Steven Universe, like One Piece references. It's like a 3 minute.
She said that she really likes One Piece.
That's awesome, dude.
But they look like identical.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So they get there and Kokoro tells them about Water 7 or the City of Water, and that they need to go there and they need to talk to this guy named Iceberg, and she's gonna draw him this map to help him get there. And she's like, I'm gonna be stopping by later anyway, so if you guys are still there, because the log is gonna take like a week to
the
reset.
map.
The map is so funny.
Yeah.
She's like, let's catch up and have some drinks.
Fucking
like,
drunk.
Yeah.
She's all fucked up. And she like folds it. Yeah, hands this folded piece of paper, and now he's like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then they get back on the boat, and it's just like this like horrible drawing, and it just says around here somewhere.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is garbage. But then they head to Water 7 or the City of Water, and they're looking for Iceberg, and they're looking for shipwrights to help them. And they're going there with the specific goal of getting a shipwright and adding them to their crew.
To the crew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they get there, and first they have to take their treasure that they have and convert it to cash, to convert it to money or bells. So it's bells, right?
It's like belly.
Yeah. So that they can pay these guys, and we get to see a little bit of the Galila is what it's called.
Galila.
The Galila.
Galila company.
Because we get to see another pirate crew
Galila.
try to swindle them.
Bro, I swear to you, that's exactly what I said. Even back in the day when I'm like, Galila.
It's like
I'm
Guardians of the
literally
Galaxy.
Galila.
It's like,
Yeah.
Galila.
No, literally. Galila.
Galila.
I will no longer.
I be your slave.
Oh shit!
But yeah, the Galila. I
love them.
I liked them.
I mean,
fuck them.
yeah,
They're cool.
but
They're cool designs. Like we got like Freddie Mercury on the track.
Freddie Mercury's on
We
there.
got Lemillion on the track.
Yeah, he's on there.
We
Lemillion on the
got
track.
we got Cigar Boy,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
who's a little like telling Nami what not to wear and what to wear. I'm like, chill. Like
Yeah.
you need
Yeah,
to
I mean,
chill.
that's Paulie. Paulie's.
Polly's a bitch.
Everybody's
Yeah,
got.
Paulie's a little
Everybody,
bitch.
everybody knows like a Paulie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like someone
you
who's
can't
just
take
like-
it. Yeah, Polly that just
Yeah.
freaks out. You can't
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, Paulie's got a drinking problem. He's got a gambling
He's got a
problem.
gambling issues. What's the problem with Polly?
Yeah.
Polly want a
Polly,
cigar.
Okay. Everybody's got an Uncle Paulie though. You know what I mean? I feel like
You do, yeah.
I feel like everybody
Uncle
does.
Paulie.
But yeah, so they get there and you see the other pirate crew try to swindle them, and you see that they're like they're not just shipwrights, they're like badass motherfuckers who can handle their
World's best.
handle their shit. Yeah, they're the world's best.
Motherfucker.
Badass motherfuckers who can handle their shit. And that's what it is.
That's what they do.
And that's just kind of a scene that establishes that and shows you that, so that by the time Luffy and Usopp and Nami get there, you know that there's not going to be any kind of funny business. And if there is, that they're going to have a hard time dealing with them.
Indeed.
But they get there, they go find this place to convert their money to gold to money, and that's a funny scene too, because the guy tells them about bulls there, and that's how people how they get around Water 7. I mean, it's literally similar to, is it Italy or is it like France? Or
Definitely
not,
Yeah,
Italy.
It's
definitely
right?
Italy,
It's
yeah.
Venice specifically. 'Cause
Venice,
they
that's
have,
what it is,
They
that's
literally
what it
have the same like flooding issues that they talk
Yes.
about. In the,
And it has like a similar architecture, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Because they're
is
built like the structure
Yeah,
of the.
it's literally like modeled after Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If like Alabama
canals,
is
yeah.
Egypt, and then
Yeah.
Skypiea is
Heaven.
Heaven.
Yeah, Skypiea is definitely its own kind of
Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
that's based off those certain ideas.
Well, because it's a religious, it's a heavily religious themed arc. Then this is Venice for sure.
Yeah.
And so they have to ride around these like bulls
I like
that
those
are
guys.
like sea horses.
Yeah.
Kinda ride on,
They're
on the-
chill.
Fucking awesome. I'd fucking love to be there every day.
I know.
I just
Love
love
to
to
be
fucking
chilling
be
there.
there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they got like a nice like crepe place there.
Also, some of that water meat. Just
Some of that water
Oh,
meat,
it looks
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, give me some of that
Water
water.
fruit. I'm like,
Shows hungry.
Yeah, I got hungry. I got hungry.
Hungry.
I got hungry. They meet the guy, and he like Luffy just shows him the treasure. Well, he tells him at first, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be like, I don't know the exact amount, but he's like, yeah, it's gonna be about like $100 to rent one of these bulls, to get around. And he's like, cool. And he shows him the money.
cool.
He shows him the money, and then he's like, oh my god,
He's
like that's a lot of money.
give me
he's like-
some.
Yeah, he's like, give me some. They're like, no. He's like, all right. Well, anyway, like I was saying,
yeah. Like
like I was saying, it's gonna be about $1 million for you to rent one of these bulls.
Right.
And then they're like, you just changed the price on us.
Mhm.
But it was just another funny, quick, just comedic moment.
Very
They-
quick.
They get, and that's why I
Just
love
helps
about
it
too.
move along.
Yeah.
Like it's literally moments like this where you realize how long Like there's a reason why it just like can continue to just flow and like have literally the physical amount of chapters it has for each arc. It's just like it makes it flow with just like little character moments and just
I don't
meeting
know,
new people. It's just
like I don't know how Oda is able to keep it so funny. Because like I
he's
can
funny.
imagine, like
he's just a funny dude.
He's funny. The SBS corner is hilarious.
It is.
His responses are so funny.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's one thing to like write a good story and maintain, like, you know, just equality, but then to just like for the quality of jokes to also just feel like they're kind of getting even funnier because you're getting to know the characters even more and the world even more. It's just like it's an awesome feeling. But they get the bulls. They ride around the city. They kind of take a little tour. They're also pretty smart too. These bulls, you know, they can kind of understand where you want to go and kind of help you get there.
They're lit.
They're lit.
They're the best animals I think we've met besides like Karoo.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, what's his name? The Sky Knight's horse was pretty cool too.
He was cool. He was cute.
Give me the sea bull. Come on.
Give me the sea bulls. I like them better. I think.
Give me this. You guys can have the bulls. Give me the Sky Knight's freaking horse.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Because while you guys are just taking the freaking backwater streets, I'll be flying high in the sky.
I think you're so much better than us. I swear to God. Bro.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, dude. I mean, if it's
you
like
need to
I'm
tone
in a
it
Ferrari
down.
and you guys are in like a Civic, you know, and that's what it is.
Right. Okay.
Dude, Luffy would hate you.
Oh,
Dude,
he
Luffy
would.
hate you.
He'd probably smash you. He'd be
Smash
he'd,
Bah!
he'd go, come on, Punchy!
Me and Luffy. Whoa! You almost knocked Nolan off his seat right now.
Knock me out my seat.
Because I was punching. I hit my elbow on the thing too.
Good.
No!
I almost died.
I mean, your attack messed you guys up more than it messed me up.
Yeah.
But while Zoro's on this ship just chilling, the Frankie family comes and they try to like take the ship from Zoro, but obviously, you know, Zoro's not going to let that fly. He's not gonna let that happen.
Not at all.
So while he's kind of dealing with the Frankie family, and pretty easily, I think, Robin and Chopper are, you know, this is where it gets real interesting. Robin and Chopper are walking around town. Chopper sees a little bookstore, and he's like, Robin, do you mind if I go in there and I just like get some books, check some books out? You know, maybe they got some.
As he's
books.
asking, he just runs over anyway. Like even before she can answer, he's like, the books, and she's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So this is exactly why I'm leaving.
Oh,
yeah. And
he mentions that later. He's like, "Do you think it was? Do you think it was because I did something at the bookstore?"
Yeah.
And Sanji's like, "Don't be ridiculous. That's not why."
I mean, it was kind of cute, but also kind of like the saddest thing I've ever heard.
He's precious. He's precious.
Yeah,
he needs
straight precious.
Yeah, someone needs to protect him, his heart.
God.
But while he's in the bookstore, this masked figure just passes Robin and just like whispers in her ear, like, "I'm with CP9." I'm with CP9.
That's how they say it in the anime.
Yeah. Which I thought she was some sort of Russian spy because, you know, even Oda did say that if you know, Robin
she'd
was
be Russian,
a
dog.
person,
Yeah.
you know, in real life, she'd be Russian.
She's
so I'm
really
thinking
KGB.
she's like some sort of
she's
sleeper
really
agent.
Black Widow.
She's Black Widow.
Yeah.
Really sleeper agent. She's got the knowledge. She's really out here.
Bro, she's like if Black Widow and Indiana Jones, like if Scarlett Johansson
exactly
and freaking Harrison Ford had a
so
baby.
Lara Croft.
I mean, yes, I guess.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, yeah.
To an
If Lara
extent,
Croft
yeah.
ate a devil fruit, I guess it would be Robin.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it's pretty accurate.
Why?
Not a Laura Croft fan.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I get it.
Whatever, yeah.
Because she's Nico Robin. She's not a Laura
Exactly.
Croft.
They're like, I put Nico Robin above Laura Croft. You know, so calling Robin
I
Laura
would
Croft
too.
is like
No, of course. Yeah,
It's
no,
like-
I'm just saying, like, because
That's literally what
that's
she
the
is.
combination of
right. It
of
is.
what we
It
were
is.
trying to. We're not going
It
to
is.
combine.
Nico Robin's not original at all.
Well, I'm gonna say Laura Croft is based off Nico Robin, whether that's true or not.
Hey, okay, do that.
Yeah, do that.
You want to stay on
The
there?
world is really what you make it. You just
Yeah.
say
Really,
things.
you can be as dumb as you want to be.
Yeah.
And I learned that from the captain of the Straw Hats.
Monkey D.
Monkey
No, I love
D.
Luffy because he like you said, he makes the world what he wants it to be.
Literally.
And he really
Literally.
doesn't give a fuck about what anybody else has to say.
He's like, it just doesn't matter. He is a man of action.
He really
And
is.
that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people, especially nowadays, would be like, why can't they just do something? Like, you know, politicians, like, why can't they just do stuff? Why can't they just. Luffy's going to do it.
And he doesn't
And
care.
He doesn't care. No matter the consequences.
Yeah. He doesn't care about the law He doesn't care about like people's opinions of him. He doesn't care about even social structures and hierarchies and anything.
He's like, I can't even comprehend.
Yeah, manners. Like he just doesn't care.
He's like, "Nani sore."
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's great. So Robin I thought she got like awoken or something like that, but I think she just has always kind of had this job to do and worked with this organization. But she disappears and Chopper, can't find her after that. While that's all happening, so Zoro's dealing with the Frankie family. Robin is she's disappeared and she's going to help that masked guy. Luffy and Nami and Usopp are at the shipwright, the yard, and they are talking to Iceberg. They meet Iceberg and they meet
Mountain Wind.
Is that what it's called?
His name is Mountain Wind.
That's my fucking guy, right?
The guy with the big nose.
Kaku.
Yeah.
Kaku. I love that guy.
love
dude.
Kaku.
He looks crazy.
Him. Like
he looks wild.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for shit that happens later, I mean, he might be like one of my favorite characters, dude. Just because like his character design is awesome, and it's so funny how everybody gets him confused with Usopp throughout the whole series.
When they first met him, they're like, "Oh, what are you doing there, Usopp?" They're like, "Why are you over the fence?" He's like, "What are you talking? Shut up."
Oda did confirm that Usopp's nose is larger though.
Yeah,
because of the rounded tip.
They did
because size does matter.
Oh
shoot! And I think that is what is the message.
I
think that is a relevant point.
Yeah, Oda wanted to make that very clear.
Yeah, and I think it comes across. But yeah, he's great, dude, and also the fact that he just everything about him, like through that whole arc. Not only is it hilarious that he's getting confused with Usopp, but how he just like will run and jump off buildings and he's like fast. I mean, he's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for shit that happened later, I mean, man, he would be up there with like one of my favorite characters.
A lot of people feel that way when they first meet Kaku. It's funny.
Bro, he's great.
He's sick.
Yeah.
They meet him, they kind of meet Paulie, they kind of meet Rob Lucci. Yeah.
Rob Lucci.
And he's the guy with the pigeon on his shoulder.
Pigeonhole.
Pigeonhole.
He's a pigeon bitch.
He's pigeonhole.
He's another pigeon bitch.
He's another pigeon bitch.
He's like, go. I'm like, dude, just speak your words.
No.
Mehgan, when we read Berserk, she coined the term pigeon bitch. She called Griffith that because, there's a chapter where another character's comparing him to a bird. And, obviously he's the hawk of light and whatever. But here's another pigeon bitch right here.
Right there. Literally one of the pigeon bitches, man.
One of the biggest ones. One of the biggest ones. But they all kind of have a funny introduction. They're all kind of introduced and you kind of get their dynamic, their relationship. And Luffy's kind of talking to Iceberg and you kind of get a feel for Iceberg too.
He's funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he goes, she goes, okay, here's your schedule for today, Iceberg, his assistant. You're going to do this. No. Okay, I'll cancel everything. What the hell?
He's like, I don't really feel like doing that though.
He just goes, no. And she goes, okay, I'll cancel everything. And they're like, okay, and then you have time to do this with us. So he's like, yeah, sure.
And he's got his little mouse in his pocket.
Yeah. I love the mouse.
Yeah, he's cool.
It's just so funny, man. It's just so cool. And he, he's kind of walking them through, showing them around, showing them everything while Kaku's going to kind of assess the ship and see, how much it's going to cost for him to fix it. And that's a funny moment too when he does get there. And Zoro has already dealt with the Frankie family, but now, this other person, and Zoro was like half asleep. And so he sees Kaku on the ship and like, he's kind of like eyes half open. He just sees Usopp on the ship and then he just like kind of goes back to sleep and then he's like, wait, what? That's not Usopp. And while that's kind of happening, they're just being shown around, being kind of told about the Galley Law and being told by Khalifa, I think is her name, like, Iceberg's reputation, like kind of how he came to be. There were like 7 docks and or around that, I think maybe. And he brought them all together into one dock. And, because of his charm and his skill and his work ethic, like, the workers and everybody there is like in love with him. Meanwhile, while they're walking around, and they're walking around with briefcases full of like a million like bells or bellies,
millions of bellies.
Each. Nami kind of dug the grave because they even say like maybe we should put this back on the ship, and she's like, no, it'll be fine. I'm like, Nami.
Well, because I think
you're one to hide the money any chance you get.
Well, I think as she was saying, like, we're gonna go to the shipwrights, like we gotta, like, I don't know, we gotta maybe show them that we're good for it. You know, I don't know,
possibly
because there was another guy who they literally just dealt with. Not that the Straw Hats knew this, but that like tried to like swindle them. He was like, yeah, I'm just not gonna pay for this. But I don't know. I thought even me, I was like, that's a good idea that they're gonna take the money. They're kind of
maybe one briefcase.
Well, because they're pirates, they gotta, they might not have the best reputation. So if they show up with money and like, here's the money, I don't know, maybe they'll be more inclined to help them. I don't know, because they're customers, like they said earlier.
I think they just, they were chilling, they're having a good time at the city. In the city, they were looking forward to the day.
Yeah, they were trying
to. The day that ended so great.
They were trying to carpe that diem, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem. Carpe
diem.
But the Frankie family's kind of like lurking in the background too, and they keep trying to take the briefcase.
Lurkers.
And like, Paulie catches them with the briefcase and then takes the briefcase to pay off his gambling debt because he's getting chased by like debt collectors.
He's a bitch.
And then Lucci shows up and like
handle your shit, bro.
Paulie's look.
You keep trying to defend Paulie
because guess who is the only one who's worth his salt later on?
Yes, sir.
Paulie.
It's Paulie himself.
It's Paulie D. Okay.
Paulie D. Cracker.
It's Paulie the will of the D.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't trust anybody that looks too perfect.
Exactly.
Lucci.
Yeah, Lucci's always
Kaku. Everyone. Look at Kaku. Flying across the city. All the citizens are like, oh, Kaku is flying across the city. Oh, he's going to go. Yeah, they're literally like, galley law.
Galley law. I love you.
Nope.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially those two, because they were like, what the fuck's up with Paulie? And they were talking shit.
They were talking mad shit about Paulie.
Dude.
They were putting him down. They were putting him down like, you suck, Paulie. You need to get your life together. You got a gambling addiction.
I mean, that's true, though. But
that's the thing about Paulie. Paulie's a little rough around the edges. And I do agree, Nolan, you can't be trusting somebody that's too clean cut. Mm-hmm. Like, I think if you got a shady past, I'm more inclined to sort of trust you than if you're a little
because you could, there's a possibility you learned from it.
Exactly.
And
that you
understand it.
Yes. Because then it's like, who are you trying to be?
Yeah, you can find snakes in your backyard.
That's true. That's
just right there.
That's true. That's why I always wear, my boots, cowboy boots.
Strapped
Shoot.
up.
Mm-mm.
Shoot. But yeah, he that whole interaction goes down, and they're all kind of throwing the briefcase from person to person, and then finally it gets back to the Straw Hats, to Usopp and Nami and Luffy. And then they're just kind of like chilling, being walked through the yard or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the Frankie family comes back again. And this time they like kidnap Usopp with the briefcase. And at the worst time, because it's right like then that Kaku comes back. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, so I looked at the merry-go or the going merry, depending on the translation.
I think it's going merry.
It's going merry, right? But Viz, man, Viz really like fucks shit up, dude.
Why though? Like, dude, I don't understand. They have one job to just translate.
The translations for
means.
One Piece are all over the place.
Does Viz ever change it from the merry-go to the going merry?
Okay, I didn't even read I read like not a fan translation, but it's
like a scanslation.
It's like yeah, but it wasn't like the official translation,
right,
Viz, or like I wasn't reading Viz,
right,
right. But
in that translation they called it going merry.
Yeah, they call it going merry, but it's not consistent, bro.
It's not.
It just isn't though.
It really
isn't.
But it's at the worst time because they tell him that the going merry. They tell him that it's just unfixable. That it sailed its last day, that it's a miracle that it even made it there. And that it's because there's this thing called a keel, and the keel is like basically the center of the ship, and it's where everything else comes out from.
Yeah.
So to replace that would have to replace the whole ship, and Luffy's like,
it'd basically be a new ship.
Yeah, he's like, well then make it brand new again. Like, and then they have that, which that's like a very they kind of go through that. It's like that philosophical sort of question that is always asked, which is that like if a boat over time, if you replace one plank here, and then after 2-3 years, is it even the same boat? It's like that's a famous question that is always asked, and it's kind of like they kind of do that here, and they kind of like walk Luffy through that. Like no ship is ever going to be the same. There's different trees, there's different wood, there are different cuts. Like if we replace every beam, every plank, we can make it look like it, but it will never be that ship, and you guys, the crew, will feel it.
And the Going Merry is just not able to keep up with how crazy they're going.
I know.
Too crazy.
They're going crazy.
They're going in the
and they want to
sky.
go even crazier. They're
Yeah.
like they have active plans to be crazy.
They have plans next Tuesday to be wild.
Dude, we're gonna be as wild as possible, you know.
Yeah.
I
And the
don't know,
Going Merry's
man.
like barely hanging on.
I
like
know.
fucking hanging
There's
on.
like freaking like metal, like metal sheets wrapped around his neck.
Yes.
He's like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. They just weren't expecting how wild that they're. I don't know,
no,
just,
no.
There was a moment too where Luffy kind of defended it, and for a second,
Yeah.
I get like the sentimental value, and like even me, like I'm guilty of like personifying things. Like I get a little too like attached to things, and I put like a little too much like not
That's
even
true.
like, bro, not even if someone gave it to me but like even if it's just a thing I've had for a long time, like
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm just like I
True.
it's hard. I'm like a hoarder sometimes with
Mhm.
things. And
Yeah.
so I got why Luffy was like, no, we got.
Yeah.
But it did also feel a little absurd when he was like,
Mm.
I'm not gonna leave anybody behind, not even the Going Merry. And I'm
Mm.
like, I mean, it's a boat. You know?
Yeah.
You're a pirate.
Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, it kind of resulted in like losing the boat or like losing Usopp. And it's like the people on the boat are what make the boat. Like the Going
Yeah.
Merry, there's some other shit that's going on with the Going Merry that we don't know about
That's
at all
true.
yet. We get hinted with Usopp and had an interaction with this thing, and I don't want to say it because I don't know if you necessarily like
I have no idea.
know. So it is just like, like that's probably why he feels that strong of a connection because no one else kind of
Yeah.
recognized that or had kind of seen it. So I'm sure if like Sanji or like any other crew member saw this, it'd be like, yeah, no, we can't get rid of this
Mhm.
ship.
And also, like,
Yeah.
a pirate ship is like their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they live and like sleep and like call home.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, it was
They
so.
literally don't like that. It's more than like a car. That's
I know.
That's
Yeah,
literally
no,
where
for
they.
sure.
That's their house. Their
It was
home.
so cool. The Sky Tower, One Piece thing. The Sky Tower,
Mhm.
like they showed like their rooms.
Oh,
And
And
that's
it showed
it.
like Nami and Robin's room, and it was just
Mhm.
so cute because like they would share a room. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry, I
good.
just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
but it's
sick.
just like we don't get to see
yeah,
much
it's
of
just
the
little
ship.
things. Yeah.
Like
But also,
inside.
like for me, like I'm a Doctor Who fan, right? And like his TARDIS is, a time machine,
Mhm.
but he's had the same one, and it's the same
Mhm.
thing that it's how he travels. But over the course of so many episodes or seasons or whatever,
Mm.
that inanimate quote unquote object, like it has a personality. Like
Oh, really?
it becomes like a very much a character in the show, and that's kind of how the Going Merry feels too. Like it is very much like a character. It is very
Yeah.
much like
Yeah, there are panels where they're like in the sky or like at Skypiea
Yeah.
and the face is like scared
Yeah.
with them. Like it is definitely like kind of like a personified object at this point. And Usopp
Yeah.
treats it like a person. Like
well, yeah. I mean, that's
she's
the-
a good old one, isn't she? I'm like,
Well, I mean,
Usopp.
that's the same thing. Like with the TARDIS, there
It's a
are
fucking
other
dog.
TARDISes in Doctor Who, but it's like that's his, and like no other one is
Yeah.
the same because it is. I mean, they've just had so many adventures
Mhm.
together,
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
same thing with the Going Merry. It's like they've had so many adventures together.
Yeah.
I don't know. It,
And they had probably like in their head that they're going to continue their adventures with this ship.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
gonna get to the end of their adventure
Yeah.
with this ship.
Mm.
And
then they confirmed that it's not going to last.
You can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that should have been the first sentence out of Luffy's mouth when
Mhm.
talking to Usopp about all this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Because it
for
took
sure.
way too long. I mean, for
Yeah.
drama purposes, but
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, the merry go is no go anymore.
Yeah, it's a no go, and Luffy at that point kind of just doesn't really know what he's gonna do.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
says like, okay, why I need to think about it. I don't want to get rid of the.
He needs to think about it. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Crazy,
first
bro.
time, and then he actually stands
He's
up.
like,
He's like, "No, this is just
I need to
the
make a
decision that I've made."
decision.
I'm like, "What, Luffy?
Yeah.
Who are you?"
it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and there was another part later, where and we'll get there when we get there, but I don't want to forget it, so I'll say it now. Where usually like Zoro and Sanji have this like relationship where they're always fighting. And Sanji's always ragging on Zoro for being like lazy and sleeping and like doing all this shit.
Mm.
And after the blowout, everything, there's another part where like immediately after where like Luffy's sitting on this tower and Zoro's kind of just laying there like like he usually does. And Sanji's like, okay, well I'm gonna go look for Robin. And he's like, Zoro, what are you gonna do? And he's like, well I'm just gonna kind of like sit here and like maybe sleep and then just see how things kind of like pan out. Any other time, Sanji would have been on him.
Mhm.
And Sanji just kind of looks at him and he's like, okay. and it just walks away. And you're just like, dang, dude. Like any other time, you'd be like, you lazy moss head, you know, freaking.
They could all feel it. They're all like mourning. Like it's crazy. Like,
well, let's get there because we're pretty much we're pretty much there. So as Sanji kind of sees Robin for a second when he's kind of like going around town for a little bit, he kind of notices her, he sees her with this like other person, and that just kind of happens while all this other stuff is happening, and then we get to we get to meet Corgi for a second too. This like a world government official who's coming. Who's
who
coming
keeps
in.
consistently.
Shut up! Get out of here.
Yeah,
bro. Like you're the kind of person that takes shit a little too seriously.
Yeah.
You take your job too seriously.
Yeah.
You take your life too seriously.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah. Like do something illegal. Like once.
Once, please.
Please.
For your psyche, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he works for the government, so he probably has.
Even more so. That's why
he looks like he likes his job. That's the thing.
That's
the thing.
Yeah, he looks like he loves it.
He can't get enough.
Yeah. That face. So he's introduced, and then we're letting that he wants something that Iceberg has, but we don't know what it is.
No.
While Nami and Luffy, when they realize that the merry-go, the going merry can't be fixed, and that they realize that Usopp is missing, Nami goes to find him. Luffy goes to find him too, but Nami finds him first and just finds him like beat up on the side of the road.
He's half dead.
First time getting beat
all
up.
Over. Yeah.
Like to that extent. I mean, he did get his skull cracked.
Oh yeah.
When he was fighting the Baroque.
He's got his
he
ass
literally
beat.
just got jumped.
He's got his ass
Like
beat a
no
lot.
dramatic fight. He just got jumped.
Yeah.
Off screen.
Yeah.
Off screen.
Off
he got
screen for
ass
his
beat.
money, and everyone else in the town is like looking at him like. Because he's just lying there, no one's helping him, and Nami's like, "What happened?" And then it was just that panel of him in tears, like, "I can't face anyone."
Bro, no wonder he got his ass beat like 3 times the same day.
3 times the same
Like
day. Yeah.
Of
three
course he'd
times,
be a bad mood.
3 times the craziest action that he's seen, like for no reason. Like that day was the worst day. It was the worst day
His life.
of his life. That was probably the worst day of his life.
Probably.
Other than his mom died, that was probably the second worst fucking day of his life.
I mean, it might
Easily.
It might even be up.
Might even
with the
might even
first
be
day.
over.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't even really
I
remember
thought I
that
found
anymore.
my family. I thought they beat
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
He took everything.
Took me.
Beat the shit out of me.
I couldn't do shit.
Fuck.
That's terrible.
But it's crazy. It wasn't in the anime, but in the manga, even when everybody's like crowding around, and he's just like, I can't face anybody. Like this was our shot. Like I ruined everything again because I'm fucking weak. Everybody's crowding around, and Nami just looks at everybody. And she's like, "This isn't a show." She's like, "Go, like leave."
Yeah.
And that wasn't in the anime, but it was this like moment in the manga where you're like, "Damn, Nami, like she's not tolerating, and like she's gonna do everything she can to protect Usopp too and make him feel, comforted in any way she can." But that's a very intense moment that leads into the most intense moment.
And that's pretty crazy for Nami too as a character, because like money means like everything to her. Like,
yeah, it's a good showcase of like, when it comes down to it, she's gonna prioritize, her friends.
It's a great point because we've only seen her at the drop of a hat, do anything for treasure.
Yeah,
and
she
money.
went back to G8. She went back in to get the treasure. Because Luffy's like, we don't have to go back. And she's like, really? You don't want to go back? We're going back. Like, they went back.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have to do that. They were out. They were done.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, she's a pirate too, bro.
yeah, she is.
They're pirate. You forget they're pirates.
You kind of do sometimes.
Yeah.
But you're right. When it comes down to it, she's going to protect her friends. She's going to put her friends over money, over
the crew,
treasure.
the crew,
Yeah,
the crew, the team.
The team.
They really emphasize that this arc, like this is that we're trying to be a pirate group that wants to be the king of all pirate groups.
Yeah.
Like we're not allowed to like play like that. Like it's just Usopp. If you're gonna do something, you're literally challenged. This is mutiny. This is basically mutiny.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
She tells Usopp to kind of stay there, lay there. She's gonna go get everybody else to handle everything and to help with everything. And while she's out doing that, Usopp gets his, beat up ass up and goes to the Frankie house to confront them on his own. And they mess him up. I mean,
Again.
they wreck him. And
But
they
his
rob
intro
him.
was amazing.
It was awesome.
You were like,
give
oh,
it back. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, he's not, bro. This is crazy. He's not about to wipe everyone out.
I kind of thought he was, too.
I thought so too.
I thought he was gonna do more than he did. I didn't even maybe I didn't think,
Exactly.
maybe I didn't even think he was gonna win, but I thought for
No.
sure he was
No.
gonna maybe one guy. He was gonna get one guy.
Yeah.
But he got wrecked.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
wrecked once again. Yeah.
But you know, it's at that point too that I think, you know, Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Chopper, they go to where Nami tells them to go to look for him. And I think it's at that point too. Oh no, Luffy says this later, but they go to look for him. He's not there, so then they kind of put together like, no, he didn't go to the Frankie house without us, did he?
And I mean, we were missing the most. Usopp meets Frankie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, Usopp
They have
met Frankie,
they have dialogue like
They
almost
do.
immediately, and he's like, you know,
They do.
listen here, long nose boy, like you're not about to steal this money back from me. His whole thing is like, I'm gonna steal from you because you stole this from someone else.
Mhm.
They say
Yeah.
that like multiple times. You guys are
Mhm.
pirates, like
Yeah, they
this
attack
is
pirates.
Mhm.
It's like, this is the pirate game. This is like the
Yeah.
world that you guys are in.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have attacked you if you guys weren't wanted, you know?
yeah, exactly.
And he basically
This is
tells him
it.
too, yeah, the law's not going to be on your side.
No.
Bro, yeah, exactly.
And
he's
they're-
smart. I mean, he's straight up real.
He's
They're-
just letting him know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because their whole thing is they're dismantlers. They're like
ship
scavengers.
dismantlers.
Yeah, they'll like go. They love when a pirate
Frankie.
crew comes because they can dismantle their ship
Yeah.
and sell the parts. And,
Frankie
and make
is
money.
awesome. Yeah.
But Frankie's introduction, like I said, I got so long ago. I was
Mhm.
so young, and I don't even think I read all of it or watched all of it. But you know, I do not remember him being introduced this way at all. And it's crazy. He leaves though because he takes the money, the 200 million or 200 million, and he you know, has to leave, depart on the sea train.
He says
to
he
go
left with the
somewhere.
money. Mm-hmm. They're not seeing that money again.
No, never again. And he has to go get something, and he doesn't
Yeah.
say what he has to go get.
Yeah.
That's when everybody else shows up after Frankie's long gone,
Mm-hmm.
and they do what they do. They whoop ass.
they
They open up that can.
That was sick. It was sick in the anime. I like the way they animated Chopper and the way they animated them dodging stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it was cool. It was really dope in the anime.
It was really cool
It
to
was
see
dope.
like Luffy's
Oh yeah.
ability, because in the manga
He
it
gets
was it was harder to tell like what was kind of happening because he's not like hitting, but he's like generating like either friction or heat or
Seems
something.
like he's generating a friction or like of some type.
And then he can like it like explodes. And so, I mean, it was
I
pretty
like the
cool.
logic behind it of just like going really fast and then just like kind of like concentrating that fastness.
Yeah.
And into like it's just like a strange. It's just interesting.
Well, that's
way
kind of
it
like in the
played out.
SBS corner too. During this like
Yeah.
arc, there was a like a paragraph. It was like one question, one long answer from Oda,
Damn.
where he was like talking about the logic behind how Luffy was able to disperse Inaru, or I forget, his
Enel,
Enel,
Inaru.
Yeah.
his how he was able to disperse that lightning cloud, like how like
Mhm.
logically and scientifically in Oda's mind what was happening and how that worked. So
Mhm.
I mean, he has like
He has a certain
reason.
logic
Yeah,
to
a
logic.
like a lot of his, which is like it's just goes with the same thing of like kind of like a folk logic
Mhm.
of like you hear in like folk tales, like, oh, if I'm not entirely sure, but like if I do this, and I can do a superhuman thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like just like those weird, like, I don't know, like fables, wives' tales.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like that literally that logic applies to like literally the power system of One Piece. So
Yeah.
it's literally like One Piece is so themed and it's about like its ideas so much that it even plays into like the random, like, because we talk about the power system, but it's like really everyone's abilities have been different from each other. Like,
Every
Yeah.
single one.
there's not really a common like denominator between it, but we learned that there's like techniques that people can use, like Luffy using a heat attack, like just like you never know what is really possible going forward.
And to
Yeah.
that point, like not to jump too far ahead, but like at the end of this part, we do learn, and I think this is going to be significant later, but we do learn about the 6 powers a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny
Yeah,
that I mentioned
I
that.
know.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. Literally, that's that's great.
And that seems
Wow.
like something that they're going to be able to implement in one way or another.
There's 6 of them. They say anyone can do them.
All they have to do is train hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there's anybody willing to train hard, it's definitely Zoro.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think even Luffy too. I mean, maybe.
Sanji.
Oh, for
Shit,
sure. Yeah.
Sanji.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
They're gonna go crazy.
They're gonna go off. They're gonna go off. But after the fight, which was awesome, And they take care of them very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luffy-
every bone in your body is gonna be broken. They're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, no, actually, don't hit us anymore. Oh, he's gone. But yeah, after all that, it was awesome.
Yeah,
they got what they
Luffy-
deserved.
Luffy says at
Damn.
the end, like standing in the rubble and the debris of the
Yeah.
Frankie house, he's like, yeah, the going merry, like we're done.
We
like,
gotta get rid of it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're not sailing with it anymore.
Damn.
And it was like, oh my God.
I know, he said it just straight up.
Yeah, and then it cuts back to Iceberg, and he's in like his office, and he's talking to Khalifa for a little bit, and then you just see like a Robin Wanted poster in the background.
Yeah.
And-
80 mil.
Yeah, and then you see like Corgi like leaving all pissed off or whatever, and Khalifa's like, why do you care so much about Robin? And he's like, he kind of says something like and alludes to a little bit more of her mystery, like she's a demon.
She's a
like,
devil.
I was like,
Yeah.
huh?
yeah. Then relax with that.
yeah. I mean,
Or
that's
a
borderline a
demon.
slur right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that
Yeah, actually,
Khalifa
that's funny.
is related to Mia Khalifa?
Yes, for sure.
Yo.
Absolutely.
Yo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, definitely,
Absolutely.
most definitely.
100%. Yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I just wanted to make sure my notes were correct.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Really like yeah.
Mia
Question mark?
Khalifa.
You wrote like question mark
yeah,
next
you
to
did a lot of research for
Khalifa
that too.
equals Mia Khalifa at
Yeah.
like boards and post-it notes. I'm like,
Khalifa's so fake too. She's like, why are you even
Khalifa's
interested in
a
her?
fake hoe.
Bro, they're fake.
all
They're
of
so
them.
fake.
I was shook.
We'll continue.
We'll get there because right now it is, probably the for sure highlight of this first
Oh
part.
my god, I don't want to talk about
It's,
fucking
it's,
cry.
it's the fight between Luffy and Usopp, and Usopp wakes up and has no idea that anything is happening with the ship.
Yeah.
That the keel is fucked up and
Bro.
beyond repair.
Bro.
That anything is happening.
Yeah.
And
He's got his ass beat.
He got his ass beat. He's not feeling great already, and he's like, yeah. So are we able to fix it? And Luffy's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna fix it. We're actually gonna get a new ship. And he's like, is it because of the money that I lost?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's not really because of that. And he's like, then what is it?
He
Then-
goes, "You're joking, right?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"You're joking."
He's like,
like
"You're
Chopper,
funny. You're
Chopper
so funny."
believed you
Yeah.
right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't joke.
No,
Yeah.
literally, they go
Dude.
so specifically into like how they're expressing themselves in that scene. It's just like, this is like, oh, you're funny. Like literally like a typical scene.
How they would,
how
react
they would
to it,
literally
yeah.
like hundreds of chapters
Mhm.
at this point.
Yeah.
It was
Hundreds.
insane. Like how visceral I was. Like,
Visceral.
oh, like and they're just silent.
Like,
All of them are
yo.
just staring, and they're like,
Mhm.
"You're
Mhm.
like you're joking. Like you're so funny. When are we fixing it?" Luffy's like, "We're not."
Mhm.
It's like,
And he's like, yeah, it's and he's like, it's not because of the money, right? Like, we
No.
have enough money. And even Luffy's like, no, it has nothing to do with the
Nothing
money.
to do
my
with it.
God.
And he's even
he
like
gets
he's
heated.
He's even
like,
showing Usopp
a
like
catalog.
I
a
know.
catalog
I
of ships
know.
that they can get, and
Usopp-
Usopp's just like in silence, like not really processing it.
But then he like slaps it out of his hand. He's like, how can you talk to me
Yeah.
like and hold that at the same time? Like, if you're gonna talk to me about it, talk to me about it. Don't talk to me while you're like shopping for a new one, like right in front
Yeah.
of me. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
No, Usopp
Hey,
tells
and
Luffy
he tells
all.
and they like tell each other. They both have points,
Bro,
great.
and it's crazy because then he goes like, I've done everything I can to like help and to carry my weight and to fix this ship. I've put everything into it. And then Luffy's like, yeah, but you're not a carpenter, are you, Usopp? You're not. Like, you even said that yourself, like, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then they're going off, and Usopp's like, well, you know what? If you're just going to abandon the merry-go and you're just going to throw away, like, friendships and bonds with people or things that have been with you for a long time, then you might as well throw me away too. Like,
He
throw
goes,
me away too. Because
You don't need. You don't need weak friends.
Yeah, you don't
You're
need
gonna
weak
get rid
friends,
of
right?
weak friends.
You
Yeah.
don't need weak ships. You don't need weak
Dang.
friends. Like, and then
Oh.
Luffy says, like, you know what? Then get off. And then Sanji fucking kicks the shit out of him, and he's like, "What were you about to say?"
It
And
was so
it was crazy.
intense.
It was crazy.
And Choppy Baby's just there. And he's like,
Choppy Baby.
he's like, and I'm
He's
like,
literally watching his family fight, like in
I
front of him.
know.
But like watching his family like get a divorce, it feels like
Yeah.
not even fight. Like,
And then like fight to the fucking death after.
yeah.
Literal explosion.
literally
Dude.
insane.
And Luffy's like, even in that moment, like Sanji kicked it out of him or whatever. But he's even like, I'm sorry, I just like got like so heated. He's like, I got caught up in the moment. And Usopp's like, no. You said, you said what you said.
Yeah,
Like,
I know
yeah,
exactly what
I
you're
know,
gonna
it's
say,
like,
and you actually
oh.
mean it. So I'm just gonna dip. Consider me not a part of the Straw Hats anymore. Peace, deuces. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to stop him. Everyone's yelling. Everyone is yelling except for Zoro and Luffy.
And Sanji
Sanji's
goes
too.
outside. Yeah, he
yeah,
does go
Zoro's
out.
just like,
yeah, they're distraught. Yeah.
Yeah,
Zoro's
but
posted.
it's also so awesome in a way. I know that's a weird word to use, but like it's so cool to see them all deal how they all deal with it.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Because we all deal with shit like that, like conflict or like things like that, like pain differently. We all process it differently, and you see like how all of them care. All of them care equally for Usopp, but they all react differently.
Yeah.
And that is just like, damn. I mean, that's what makes it feel even more real and more intense.
Yeah, it's about its characters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And then like as Usopp's walking away, he turns around and he says like, you know, I know you're the captain and this is technically your ship, so like fight me for it then. Like I'll come back at this time and fight me for it. And Luffy's like, okay. And he comes back at dawn or whatever. And Nami's trying to talk to him too. And you know, Luffy before that.
Yeah.
And he's like
not hearing anything.
Yeah. And he's so quiet. Like Luffy's so quiet.
He's so weirdly quiet and calm. He's just like, if you have nothing else to say to me, then leave.
Yeah.
And Nami's like,
because he's like, if
Luffy.
talking would have fixed this, then we would have fixed it.
And it didn't.
And it didn't. So if
that's
you have anything
that.
else to say,
I was
now's
like,
the time to say it. If not,
damn.
leave.
And then Choppy baby. He's like, you followed him into town, didn't you? And he's like, he got a place to stay in town. And I was like, oh my God. And he's literally sitting down and he's like, I tried to help him, but he didn't want my help to tend to his wounds because he said we're no longer friends.
And Mehgan started crying, weeping.
And he goes, and go back to the ship.
And she's crying right now.
Bro, that shit was sad
just
as
like,
fuck.
we're no longer friends.
Yeah.
Like,
after everything.
I can imagine he's just like, leave. Like him yelling at Chopper to like leave. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Truly terrible.
It was awful. I hated every minute of it. I hated every
I
second
literally
of
was
it.
like I literally gasped and burst into tears. How horrible.
But
Usopp comes back.
He comes back. He comes back and he's also like still like wrecked from everything. Yeah, you're going through it. You're reliving it.
Hey, bro,
really
it's terrible.
He comes back and you know, Luffy's there and they go at it. And Usopp has concocted a plan, man. I mean, he's got the dials. He's got the first thing he does is like psych Luffy out with like fake blood.
Yeah.
He like coughs fake blood.
And you're like, what the
and he tells
I was
Luffy,
like, what's going on?
I know you. I know how you fight. I know how you care about people, and so I'm going to use that to my advantage to get the merry go because I want the going merry guys. I want it. It's you know it's worth fighting for to me. Maybe not to you, but to me. Trick psychs him out with the fake blood, and then you see what I think is like awesome. You see Usopp do these like really random things that don't seem like they're doing anything or they matter at all. Like he starts shooting eggs at Luffy. And
that was funny.
When you see everything that Luffy's done, especially in Skypiea, you're like, eggs.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, why is Luffy not doing shit right now?
And you're also like, what is that? Usopp, you said you know him. Like, what is that supposed to accomplish? Like, and he's like, and Luffy's like, oh man, these eggs are rotten. Like, what are you doing? And he's like laying these spikes on the ground and, you know, shurikens are flying everywhere. And, dude, he basically like, I think that the things on the ground and the shuriken thing or whatever was all just like buying Usopp time.
Yeah.
Like it was all time. And, you know, he starts to like, Luffy starts to like see something and he's like, yeah, he planted like a dial on this cliff.
Like a gas or breath dial.
A breath dial.
That's like been continuously putting out gas.
And he's like,
they've been fighting.
The rotten eggs.
That
you
was
can't smell it.
sick.
He's
You
like,
can't
you can't smell it
it
because of the rotten eggs.
Yeah, and because the Tabasco and, you know, also like the impact dial was sick. Like he used his own attack on Luffy.
That
like
was sick,
awesome. And it hurt him because we've known that the impact dial like hurts whoever
I mean, it's not a
uses
reject
it.
dial, but it's still an impact dial.
Yeah, impact dial. I mean, it hurts. He's like,
hurts,
oh, damn. Like that's
Yeah.
Luffy's attack, like
Yeah.
coming from his hand. Like
Yeah,
that
he
must
did that.
hurt. So
Yeah.
that was sick. And
But
then the gas,
the
like,
moment where he's like, and it just all clicks in that moment because he's like, yeah, you couldn't smell it because of the rotten eggs, huh? And then he's just like, bam, and it's just like the biggest
It's
explosion.
like the most ridiculous like explosion. It's the biggest explosion, one of the biggest
Ever.
we've seen in the
he,
series.
the Mary
series.
Go,
In the whole
the Go
series.
Mary is like, they're
They're like, yo,
in the waves and
They're
shit.
like,
They're like,
yo,
The wave,
ho, ho,
wave.
yeah. Like, damn.
Bro, and then the water splashes on the like mast of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't tell if it's water or
crying.
because then
Good
the Mary Go
shit.
looks like it has tears.
Literally, I want to die. Like, are you kidding me right now? They're all crying.
They're all
like,
crying.
Nami's like, stop this. Chopper's crying. Sanji and Zoro are like, this is crazy.
they're
like,
like, this is sick.
Yeah, they're like,
isn't-
this is sick.
No, they're like, this is what men do.
Yeah. it was so sad to see the Going Merry cry too, and just like the tears in its eyes, and that's when like the impact dial happens and all that other stuff happened, and finally Luffy gets a hold of the situation, and he rocks Usopp like
one of
hard.
the biggest bullets we've seen from him.
He stretches hard,
yeah,
and everyone's like,
yeah, they're looking at it stretching, and they're like,
no. Chopper's like, no, Usopp, Luffy.
And he's like,
stop, shut up.
bro. The scary thing is it's good.
Yeah, it is.
You know, he knocks him out, hits him with a bullet to the stomach, and he's knocked out, or he's like keeled over, and he basically says like, there was no way you could have beaten me. There was never a world where you could do it. You knew that. He's like, if you care about the Going Merry so much, you can have it. But like, I'm done.
We're gonna sail on to the seas ahead
without you.
Mm.
And it was like, oh, and then like after that, like they didn't show this in the anime, but in the manga, it just shows like Usopp just like on the ship by himself, just like
yeah,
they
do at one
point.
The
empty ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's got their stuff. Lived. Everybody's like,
yeah, and after the fight, when Luffy starts crying and you don't like see his face,
yeah,
and you just like you see Luffy and Zoro, and then back to back. That this is like this arc really is going to solidify them as like pirates.
Yeah,
like because before they're still trying to gather their crew. They have like good ideas for pirates, but just like this is what it means to be a pirate captain. This is what it means to be a captain, and Zoro's role is as vice captain, as the second in command, basically, is to remind the captain about what he should be about. And that dynamic is one of my favorite in anime and manga as a duo, as Luffy and Zoro, as he really is his right hand of the king, and more you're going to see that.
It was like, it was powerful. It was intense when he says like, he's like, I can't.
They complement each other.
Yeah.
They're yin and yang in a lot of ways.
They are.
Mm-hmm. And
hearing like Luffy say like, I can't do this. Like, not I can't do this, but like, this
is
so hard.
Yeah.
Like, this is so hard. Because it's been fun up until then. And I think that's, really true to life. That there are times when like, even in any relationship, friendship, dynamic, anything, there are times when things are so fun, but then there are times when things aren't fun. And, those times are hard. And if you have a Zoro or someone there who's like, you have to
keep focus.
You have to stay strong, because if you don't stay strong as the captain of this crew,
it's a crew,
then we're going to all fall apart.
Yeah,
and that's
we're not going to accomplish our
burden.
dreams.
That's such a big burden to put on somebody, and to put on like Luffy of all people. And he feels that, but he also knows that, he has
the
to
only
do
way
what he has
to
to
accomplish his dream is to do
and
that.
He feels like he can't accomplish his dream of being Pirate King without his crew. And he's already told Usopp, he tells his crewmates that all the time, really.
Yeah.
And just to have him recognize that he has to actually let go one of his friends, and that no matter what, and he's going to continue to do great things. And he's going to, in his mind at that moment, he's like, I'm going to continue to do great things. We're going to sail on to the seas ahead. But he just realized that he's going to lose. He's more than likely, this is probably the first time he's realizing that he's going to lose people along the way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't real to him before. Like, that wasn't a possibility, I don't think, to him before.
Or just, like the pirate game wasn't really, he didn't, even though like, he took out a warlord and all that, but he's like, fuck Crocodile. Like, whatever. It's like, I can beat his ass, but it just, the things that can happen when you're adventuring, like you never know what could really happen in your living life. Like,
and the hardest part is it's not like Usopp just died.
It'd
be more accepting. I mean, obviously it'd be hard, but it's not
but
like
then
they just
beat his
lost
ass
him
too.
They
fucking beat his ass.
Yeah, so it's just like, damn, like he made a choice and that's it.
Yeah, a choice he just was not expecting.
It was. I mean, I felt all of it. I felt all of it. So after that, then it kind of shifts, and that was so intense, and it kind of
the
shifts.
story just like, okay, that was good, but
the story really is like, okay, we understand that, like, this is a lot.
That
for
was
people.
great.
So we're gonna go to a completely different focus on
Frankie.
Yeah, they focus on like Iceberg and Frankie and everything. When it cuts back, you see that they're staying at an inn. Luffy's on top of this tower. That's
Yeah.
where that,
They had to
Sanji-
get a hotel, everything. Like,
Yeah,
shit.
I know.
They moved out.
like,
They
had to
moved
go
out.
to the inn. Like, damn.
Um,
we moved out. They got all their crap.
I
Yeah.
know.
Damn.
And
That's
they're just
crazy.
all sitting there sulking hard. And Nami
Yeah.
runs up and she's like, Iceberg was shot in his home last night. And it was
Bro,
just like,
when I
give
was
me a
first
second.
watching this shit,
Oh, no,
I'm
give
like,
me a
what
second.
else is supposed to be happening? Like,
I know.
what else is supposed to be happening? And then there was a point when I was watching it, I'm like, oh shit, Robin like literally fucking left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they have to deal with that.
On
Yeah.
top of the Usopp thing, on top of this iceberg thing, I'm like,
Yeah.
Top of
Let
the
me-
going Mary.
let me catch my breath.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Breathing
Yeah.
technique, recovery form.
Whoa, Kabagagi Kagura.
You don't got me kakura.
Himogagi Kagura.
But sorry. But yeah, so she runs up and she's like, we gotta go. I don't know. We gotta go figure out what's happening. We gotta,
Yeah, we gotta be like,
do something.
what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, at this time, Frankie is returning to the city of water, and it cuts to what's her name?
He's like,
again? Yeah. He sees his house. But bro, all the pieces are
I
moving.
love Frankie's voice
Iceberg
acting.
shots.
He's crazy.
Frankie's back, and then Kokoro, is that her name?
Kokoro.
Yeah.
She's like, the
Ah.
Agua Laguna's coming. Like, we better.
I was like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a whole hurt. This is great.
Man, crazy. And so Frankie gets back, sees his house is destroyed, and he, the few that are there and have recovered are like, yeah, it was Luffy, it was Straw Hats. So he goes to find Luffy. Now, dude, it's like everybody against everybody, dude. Luffy's there going to check up on this iceberg thing. Iceberg, is in a coma, so he can't really tell everybody what's happening, or what happened. But Frankie meets Luffy, and the theatrics and everything. His introduction was so
fucking
funny.
awesome.
And he's basically like, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna get back at you for destroying my house.
Yeah.
And when they start fighting, he's like,
And Luffy's like, I've been looking for you.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like, this is you're exactly the person I've been trying to see.
He's
But
like,
what's-
I won't. He's like, I've been waiting to beat you up. I won't be satisfied till I beat you up. And he's like, Frankie's like, okay, well, the same to me, to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
duh.
but Frankie's on some Iron Man shit, dude. He's like blasting him. And then,
Yeah,
and then
literally.
Nami and Luffy are like,
Literally.
what devil fruit is that? And then he jumps in the water and he's like, I didn't eat a damn devil fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a cyborg. And he's like, his arm is attached.
I'm a cyborg.
I'm a cyborg.
Yeah, I know the way he said.
I ain't
I
no
don't
devil
need-
fruit. I'm a cyborg.
Cyborg.
I'm a cyborg, you idiot.
Uh-huh.
And he has like a chain coming out.
It's just like
dude, it's so sick.
sick. Yeah, it's sick.
So sick. And their fight
Cyborg.
is crazy.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, chill, chill,
Cyborg.
Frankie, chill. His voice is really good. Yeah.
I love
it's
it.
a lot higher. I mean, when I first watched it, I was like, that's funny.
No.
Jarring because
Yeah,
he's
it
like a
is.
big dude.
Yeah, he's funny though.
Mm-mm.
And then, Luffy and Frankie are going at it. Then like Iceberg regains consciousness and he's like, Robin did it. Like
Oh,
Robin was with some other guy and it was probably another Straw Hat. So then the Galila is like, all right, well now we got to go get Luffy. So then it's like the Galila versus Luffy and then Frankie versus
They got
Luffy.
framed.
Yeah, they got framed.
We got framed.
And then
yeah,
it's like the
which is
Galila
also
versus Frankie.
crazy.
Crazy.
Bro, they got framed.
They're like, oh my god. Are you sure that Nico Robin? Oh my god! Like I'm like,
Like this,
you
so-
fake phony bitches.
I know.
Like,
the
yeah,
other
looking
galley.
back, looking back.
every one of you, 5 years meant nothing.
Wow.
5 years. That's such a long
Wow.
time.
Fakers.
In this man's
You gotta be
life for
heartless, though.
5 years.
But that's exactly. That's
This is
perfect. Yeah, go
This
ahead.
is the world government's like top unit, They're, right? This is like, what do they call
It's-
themselves? The cipher
Cipher poll number 9.
Number 9.
It's everyone else in the world knows about everything CP 1 through 8,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't know about number 9.
It's a secret undercover organization.
It's
dude. They're the
a
best
it's a
of the
fucking
best.
hit squad.
It's a hit
hit
squad.
squad.
That
It's
exists
some
outside
Winter
of the law.
Soldier like some.
It is some Winter Soldier
I mean,
shit.
this is like they call themselves an intelligence agency. They're basically They're the CIA.
They're the CIA. And I know you guys can hear me because you're tapped in right now.
What do y'all? He's trying to tell y'all, bro. They're out here. They are doing this.
They're out here. They're tapped into everything.
Tapped in.
But that fight between everybody is so crazy, and Frankie just like connects like his arms to this pipe, which Mehgan in the anime
And
was
he
like,
ru-
is that his dick right now?
Oh my god, no! I
no,
swear,
the way they pop up,
psyched
though,
me out.
the way they pop
They
up.
psyched me out.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? And I was like, oh no, it's not.
You're like, no, this is.
Bro, he has a huge pipe between his legs, and he's only wearing like a bikini bottom.
Yeah.
And so it
Oh,
like,
a Speedo, yeah.
a Speedo,
He
and it,
calls
like-
himself a pervert.
it like pans up, and I'm like, no way, is this a cyborg dick right now?
And I was like, oh, and then it went up, and I was like, oh no.
Okay,
no.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're like,
Good.
phew.
But
That'd
yeah,
be crazy.
they have a whole fight across the city. You know, they get across the shipyard,
Yeah.
and then
wrecking everything.
Galila pops up. They're like, we're trying to Galila,
Galila.
Galila pop up. Mhm.
They pop up, they wipe. They're trying to wipe each other out, and Frankie ends up like destroying everything.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
In one shot, he's just
One
like,
shot.
okay, here we go. And then the people in the background are like, watch out, Frankie's getting ready to do a crazy hit. And they're like, what? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Just like, bro,
Like,
get
why
out
are
of
the
here.
civilian? Yeah, why are you
Yeah.
guys here? You're about to get wrecked.
So Luffy, and at some point during that too, the Galilad tells Luffy's like, why are you fighting me? And
Yeah.
Galilad's like, because Robin is the one who shot Iceberg, and he's like, you're full of shit, you're lying. And they're like-
Yeah.
so when Frankie blows everything up, it kind of gives like Frankie's out of juice, so he's got to go.
Yeah,
And
everyone
Luffy-
escapes.
Yeah.
Everyone. That was
And
crazy.
Luffy's like, let's get out of here, because
Mhm.
he goes to talk to Iceberg. He's like, I gotta go talk to Iceberg and square this away.
So
Or
he
just
goes,
get it from him.
directly to him.
Yeah.
He goes directly
Again.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm just gonna pop up.
yeah. Now
I'm
he's
just
like,
gonna
you
do
gotta
it.
sneak around because they're guarding his room, and he's like,
No.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll just jump through the window.
Window's
Huh?
right there. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah. And he does, and he goes in, and you think again because Iceberg hears the commotion and sends Khalifa to go like escort Luffy to the room,
mhm.
and you think like, I mean, everybody's playing this game of chess like pretty masterfully. I mean, Khalifa. That was probably her reveal was like more shocking than I think some of the other ones were. I mean, Kokoro,
True.
my guy, my former guy. But anyway,
Kafka, what's his name?
Kaku.
Kaku.
Yeah, Kokoro's the
Kokoro's
granny.
Kokoro's the granny. Well, I love her too.
Yeah.
Good characters, man.
Great characters. She or he is in there with Iceberg, and Iceberg's like, like I want to see Nico Robin again,
Mhm.
and he's like, tell me that you saw something. You didn't see what you saw. Like, tell me you're lying, or tell me that like
Mhm.
that maybe you didn't see exactly what you think.
Mhm.
And he's like, no, it was for sure her, 100%.
Yeah.
And it was probably another one of you guys with her. I want to see her. And Luffy's like, I have no idea. And Iceberg's like, your words mean nothing. And like whole time,
I know.
Puts a gun to him.
He's
Yeah.
a gangster.
Yeah, well, Iceberg, he's got some crazy shit under his belt.
He got 3.
He's got some crazy knowledge.
He
He
does. I
got
mean, he
shot
does.
like 4 times.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
shot in the back and in the front.
And this
Yeah.
man survived. And then he gets shot again.
Hey, he was the best shipwright on the island.
Damn.
And
I
if-
mean-
if we saw the Galila shipwrights, they can fight actually. So
And
Yeah.
like, Luffy's able to escape again because Iceberg, Iceberg is not giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like he
No,
thinks
he's
that the
not.
Straw Hats are for sure involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it cuts to Frankie and Kokoro at the bar, and they're talking to this
I
like
like that scene a lot.
Dude, I love that
Yeah.
scene.
I like that scene a lot.
And she's there with Chimney.
Yeah.
She's like, can I
She's
get
at the
another
bar.
juice? He's like,
He's at the
okay,
bar.
this is no place for kids. But he's not even drinking
Just
alcohol. He just gets fuel, like oil.
No, it
But
looks
no,
like
he's
it looks
got,
like
like,
Coca-Cola. Yeah,
Coca-Cola.
He
it's
runs
Coca-Cola.
off Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, Oda, you crazy man.
dude, because he gets like he's like, give me a cola, and he like shakes him up and then
Yeah.
like puts him in his stomach.
He's
it's
like
so funny.
Super.
Yeah,
like it,
yeah. It's so funny. But he's talking to Kokoro, and she's like a conspiracy theorist.
She's saying some shit.
Yeah, exactly. You listen when Kokoro speaks.
Yeah.
She's
You
saying
listen.
she's like, oh, it's just a rumor.
She
I'm
knows.
like, okay, girl. Okay, Miss Thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She's like,
Like,
I heard about this like organization called CP9.
CP9.
And the
Yeah.
bartender too. Fuck that fool's listening in the
Yeah.
back.
Bartender's like, shut the fuck
He's like,
up.
Kokoro,
Yeah.
you're wild.
He's like, one
You're
eye
drunk
open.
again, huh? She's
Yeah.
like, shut up.
yeah. And even Frankie.
Don't mention that.
Yeah, this is
Frankie's like, yeah, I don't know about all this. I'm just trying to, just live my life. I'm trying to do my own
Right.
thing. Like I'm trying to like deal with this straw hat guy right
Yeah,
now.
fuck this guy. I'm trying
Yeah.
to deal with him.
But it was such a fun scene, and you don't know until later like how kind of an important of a scene it was.
Yeah, she literally just explains the villains
Everything.
of the whole saga.
She told him everything and was right about everything.
Yeah.
But while that's happening, like Sanji and Chopper have
awesome.
gone out to look for Robin. They find Robin, and Robin tells him like, "Stop looking for me. Like I'm not your friend. I'm not a part of your crew. Like I'm leaving. Like our journey is over here and now." And she's like, "And go tell Luffy I said that too. You know, go tell everybody I said that." And that was another, pretty intense moment.
I mean, she does
too.
say thanks. She's like, thanks, I didn't probably
For the
deserve it,
kindness,
but
yeah.
thanks for the kindness and goodbye.
Aokiji was right. Bye.
Yeah.
Aokiji was right about me. Bye.
He was totally right.
He was totally right, by the way.
So it's like, curveball after curveball. Finally, because of the what is it called? The
Agua Laguna.
Agua Laguna.
Sirens popping up.
Everything is coming up. The water's rising. The winds are rising.
Yeah.
Everybody's like running for shelter. They have basically one night before it goes down. So if an attack is going to happen, it has to happen now, pretty much.
Tonight.
So Iceberg's fortress is heavily guarded.
Yeah.
And the whole galley
They
lot
pop
is
out.
like, bro, they're in
They're all
chairs,
out.
legs crossed. Just
Fakers,
bro, sitting
They
there.
look at them. They're like, we're ready.
Bro, we
Like
hope.
half of
Ready
those
for
fools.
what? You.
Ready,
Yeah,
you.
yeah, ready for you.
You.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, they did look so cool. I mean, the whole time I was like, these
Yeah, I
guys
like
are
Galley
so
Law
cool.
a lot.
I
like
know.
They're so cool.
I like.
God.
I fucking loved Kaku a lot
Dude,
too,
me
bro.
too.
Everybody liked Kaku, bro. I
Oh.
promise you, everybody. Roland. There's like
Oh.
other people. Everyone's liking Kaku, bro. They're
Bro,
like,
he was sick.
They're like, I can't wait for him to join the crew.
Right? I can't.
There's a
wait for
point
him
where
to
I'm like,
ship
I want
right.
another long nose on the crew. I don't care.
Not enough. Not enough.
Not enough.
Oh, maybe since Usopp's gone, maybe
Oh, don't say
Oh.
that.
Yeah,
Shut
just
up.
kidding.
Don't
Wow,
say that.
but that's a crazy idea that
Yeah.
to be presented with, especially realizing that after, like, oh my god, like that would be crazy if they just straight up replace, and then Usopp's his own thing, and he might have his own. Like, there's a lot of, I could see people having a lot of different ideas when reading parts of the story because nothing like this has happened yet.
Yeah.
Like the story progress and the character progress like is on 11, like
Yeah.
in the beginning of the
Yeah.
whole arc and the
Right
saga.
away.
right away.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't I kept thinking that too. Like, man, I wonder what this felt like reading it like as it was happening, like as
Yeah.
these new chapters were rolling out or as these new episodes were coming out. Like,
Yeah.
like what were people thinking? Like,
They're like, this is the best arc so far
Ever.
They were like,
I
yeah,
know.
they're like, this is like probably the most emotional
yeah.
they've been at that point. Yeah.
So they're all standing guard, and Iceberg calls Paulie into the room, and he like tells him something like secretive. He's like, "All right, Paulie, this is A, B, and C. We don't know what it is yet, but." That's when the masked figures start coming out, and Robin gets like a costume change too,
Yep.
and she's in like her burglar. She's got like her burglar mask on.
Yeah.
and
There's a bear guy.
bear guy.
I love
liked
the
him.
bear guy.
I kind of
liked
did too.
I liked all of them really.
They
the
were
whip,
awesome.
the whip guy,
Mm-hmm.
He was cool.
the bear guy with the door fruit, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
that was kind of sick.
That was
Yeah.
sick.
And as for a spy, like that's a
Yeah.
great devil fruit power to have.
Yeah.
And they're ominous. There's like the bull guy, and that looked kind of like this was like some satanic ritual. They're like
Bull in the skull.
I
bull in a skull
totally
and cloaks,
Yeah.
thought that they were like demons. Like,
Yes,
I
there was
totally-
just straight up.
or
like-
part of
Yeah.
some cult, like part of some crazy cult.
because they were like, look,
Maybe it was a
Robin's a
sex cult.
demon.
Maybe.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, because of the masks.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
they wear
yeah,
masks
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like in that one Kubrick movie,
Which one?
Eyes wide shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a swinger movie?
No, it's pretty dark.
It's pretty dark.
I never watched it.
I've never seen the whole thing, but yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Oh.
It's pretty wild. Anyway, yeah, they were actually very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
that's what
probably
I thought.
they were a group of like villains that were really effective.
Yeah.
Feel like they
Yeah.
were just getting things done.
Yeah.
And you were just like, oh well, especially when you know more later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, CP9's introduction is really dope.
Bro, and it gets even crazier, dude,
Yeah.
because the mask figures are coming after everybody, right? Like
Yeah.
freaking Paulie's going over here to do this thing that we don't know because Iceberg told him to do this. Robin and this bear guy are in the room. The whip guys, doing damage
Handling people outside. The whole mansion is just getting raided right now.
Wreck. There's like a bull, a bull and a skull, and they find Paulie, and everything's going down. And Robin is left in the room alone with Iceberg because the bear guy goes
Mhm.
outside and he's like, when we get the signal, like kill this fool.
Mhm.
And Iceberg's in there alone with Robin, and he's just like, pretty much this is his one shot. And it was revealed earlier that he had never met Robin. He had just known about her from his mentor.
Yeah.
And he had heard about her. And so he finally gets to talk to her for the first time. This person he's been like chasing his whole life. Like he gets to talk to her, and he basically tells her like he like tries to kill her. He pulls out a gun, and he's like, "You don't deserve to be alive. Like you're the only." He's like, "I knew like you're the only person in the world that can like bring about these like ancient weapons and this and start this like pretty ancient war again."
It's a awakening of power that can just straight up destroy the world. I mean, imagine a world where like nukes existed in the past, but then they were like hidden for like hundreds of years. And then there's only one person on the fucking planet that is able to get those nukes, get these weapons of mass destruction, basically. Of probably even more ridiculous than a nuke, because from what they're describing, the specific island can just blow open. It can just like blow up islands, like off rip.
It's like a Death Star.
It's like
they got the blueprints for the Death Star.
It's exactly a Death Star. And I'm thinking that in the future that it's going to act exactly like a Death Star. It's going to be epic.
Just wipe out islands at a time.
I mean, like they talk about the ancient weapons. They talk about these weapons, and I see that they have to be revived at some point for the story. Which is just crazy to think of. I'm like, how much bigger is the scope of the story really going to showcase, you know?
Well, yeah, dude. In Iceberg even reveals, he's like, I have one of the blueprints to these ancient weapons.
Yeah, the blueprints themselves.
Pluton, right?
Pluton.
Which that's what Crocodile was after.
That's exactly what Crocodile was after in Alabasta.
And we thought this whole time, which is so funny, because the whole time I was like, Pluton sounds like plutonium, so I'm thinking it's some kind of like chemical, or it's some sort of like...
It's the same like vein of thought, though.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if somebody has access to this, then they can dominate. You know?
I don't. Did Crocodile even know what it was, or just?
I don't know if they. I think he said it was an ancient weapon because he named it. Yeah, because he knew the name of it was Pluton.
Right.
He said, "I'm looking for the Pluton," and then the king of Alabasta himself was like, "Oh," he's like, "How do you know about that?" He's like, "I know about it."
Yeah, I know about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I know.
Don't worry.
It's like I got Rob, and then it's crazy that Crocodile even had Robin.
Yeah,
I know.
and when you think about it even more, you're just like, that just gives you even more like context. You're like, damn, like Crocodile. If the Straw Hats weren't there, would the world be destroyed? Like the world, you gotta think.
Would it have been destroyed then and there?
Would Crocodile just be king of the pirates? Like,
would he have the Pluton? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But he also, like, Iceberg also mentions, I think it's called the O'Hara incident.
The demons of O'Hara.
But
Devils of O'Hara.
He doesn't tell us anything about it. He just says she's the only survivor of this incident that took place 20 years ago.
Demons of O'Hara?
Yeah.
And I don't know nothing about that, but you know, it sounds pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
And I think we're gonna find out at least a little bit more of that in the second part of this arc, hopefully.
Makes sense to me.
Anyway, that's all a lot. And we find out that like Robin is the only one that can do this, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And he talks about her like going and like researching the poneglyphs, and she's like, don't tell me like what I can do with history or like how I can like research history or what I can do. I mean, it does seem like Robin, even in this conversation, she's like, you don't, and she even says it. She's like, you don't know me. Like, you don't know me. Like, and he basically says, like, it doesn't matter if I know you or don't know you. These weapons in anybody's hands, good or bad, it's going to destroy everything. No matter what, no matter if you're just or unjust, like someone's going to get their hands on it and someone's going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
Crazy. But this is where it leads into him saying like, and you think you know everything. The blueprints that I sent Paulie to go get are fake. They're not real.
They're fake.
They're fake, just like you, and just like the Galley Law. But that's pretty much when we get that revealed. Because Luffy and Paulie get captured, and then the CP9, the Cypher Pole unit, come in, and
all the masked people come into the room.
And the first reveal is like the pigeon lands on the bull's shoulder.
That was masterful.
You know what? Those you know, those shipwrights didn't sit right with me. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. The reveal was perfect, man.
Yeah, it was good because they even showed like Kaku, Lucci get bodied. Like they showed them on the floor dead, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
For real.
You're like, who? And you're like, who are these people? Like, what are they supposed to?
all four of them.
Yeah.
all of them. You met them.
Even freaking Khalifa.
Yeah, Khalifa was the one who shocked me kind of the most.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, Khalifa.
Especially because what she was doing outside the mansion.
Khalifa.
Going nuts.
That's what I don't get. I was like, no one gives. I mean, the bartender, yeah, sure, whatever. Like he's a
Blueno.
He's a CP9, whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure.
Khalifa, I was like, no, come on, dude. Like she was like, because it was their relationship, and it didn't seem like it was in the anime as much as the manga, but like Khalifa would do shit, and like for Iceberg, and Iceberg would be like, he would ask for something, and she'd be like, oh, I'm already doing it. And he'd be like, you're the freaking best, Khalifa. And she'd be like, you know, I don't know.
It was something like that.
Yeah, such a cool relationship.
And she like, it seemed like she really understood him, which was the whole point.
I was about ready for the freaking damn mouse to be.
The mouse out of his pocket.
Yeah, borderline. The pigeon's an agent. The pigeon's literally like.
He puts some little glasses on. He's like, squeak, squeak.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Damn. But it was crazy. What a crazy reveal.
Lucci,
and, you know,
Kaku, all
everybody. It was Lucci. It was Kaku. It was Khalifa, and it was Blueno.
It wasn't the mustache guy, huh?
It wasn't
Freddie
Pauly,
Mercury,
and it wasn't Freddie Mercury. I don't think yet.
Freddie
No,
Mercury.
it wasn't. Yeah.
but crazy reveal. Especially, it hits so much different and so much harder when it's a group of people that you like really like.
Yeah, and there's some crazy dialogue back and forth. Like, I forget what the context was, but Iceberg had this line where he's like, "I just know human nature, boy." I was like, "Damn."
Yeah,
he's
crazy. Like on the floor, like bleeding, and he's still trying to fight these people. And he has no chance.
He's not gonna. He definitely knew about CP9. I mean, Kokoro knew. He definitely knows about Cypher Pole as like.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess he just didn't expect the government to just literally send the hit squad. Be like, stop playing with us. Like,
send the hit squad for 5 fucking years.
Yeah, that's true. They've been in there for 5 years
to infiltrate your life.
An operation that really is like one of the biggest that you can do in the world of One Piece, trying to find an ancient weapon.
Bro, right. That's
and again, the straw hats are at the center of world-changing events. Again,
my God, dude,
Skypiea was a nice break.
But Skypiea even was. I mean, it wasn't like world-changing event, kind of.
Well, yeah, but it's just like after this, it's just like, what are they gonna?
Yeah,
like they have to just put themselves on the forefront and just be like, fuck the world government, because this is the first time that they're fighting the world government.
The world government, not just like the
Marines. Not the Navy, not the Marines. No, they're fighting agents of the government themselves, and they have a ton of experience. They're young. The CP9, they all seem pretty young. But they're the strongest ones out, apparently.
Crazy. Damn. And especially when you say it like that too, it is just like, wow. You really realize like how epic and how big and how crazy it all is. But after that, there's this like really creepy moment with Lucci, and he's
a fucking creep,
bro. He's a creep, and he's talking to Iceberg laying on the floor, and he's like, "I have my own theory, but you can just lay there." And because they shot him again earlier.
They shot him again in his bed. I was like, "Oh,
they're like, you could
just to keep him on his toes."
They're like, you can just lay there while I tell you my theory, and we'll have someone.
That was great. Kaku's gonna come by and feel his pulse to see if you're lying.
Yeah, and then he lays out this whole thing about how like they all came there 5 years ago, and even the fake blueprints. On the fake blueprints, there were 3 names on the fake blueprints because he wanted the fake blueprints to look like the real blueprints. He thought that there was only one apprentice alive still because according to the world government's records, the second apprentice was already taken out by another government agent. So the only one that was left still alive was Iceberg. However, when he saw the fake blueprints, because he wanted them to look like the real blueprints, it had a name on it, and the name was Cody
Flam.
Cody Flam.
Cody Flam. What a name.
Yeah.
Cody Flam.
And they say that they remember, because they've been with him for so long, that there was a guy who showed up at the yard one time and said his name one time. After that, one time. And then after that, started going by a different name, and that name is Frankie. Which that is like, oh God, Frankie. Like, and that's like,
and to think that he was capable of like,
so it is. It is
odd.
This is kind of like towards the end of where we read, but like to me, it's like, damn, Frankie's just been playing this part this whole time, right? Like
he's just been in the back.
Yeah, he's just been in the back.
He knows about everything.
He has to. He has
That's
to
been
know
going
about
on.
everything.
He just cares about the Straw Hats, where he's like, they just fucked up my family.
yeah.
I don't really care what's going on.
But it's like he's a, they call him a buffoon or whatever, and he knows everything, but he's also just like, I mean, he has to, I think, play this part. He can't act like he knows anything because that will make him more suspicious, I think.
Because he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely low key about the way he operates his life. He wears his mask,
Yeah.
Which
goes. Yeah.
I don't remember much.
Mhm.
And I mean this, and I'm even like, I don't, again, because I read a little bit because I had a cousin at the time who was like, you gotta meet Frankie. I think it's like when like the Water 7 chapters and episodes were just coming out. And I was like, I've only seen like, the first, couple episodes. And he's like, just, get to Frankie. I mean, watch this. It's so great. I fucking love Frankie. Yeah. I mean, he was like, and I was like, all right. So I like watched a couple episodes and, I was a kid, but so I'm really like, this theory isn't coming from anything that I maybe have seen and don't remember. Like this is just a theory I have only having read what I've read. So when they talk about like the first apprentice, like being eliminated by the world government, I mean, that makes, me believe that when we do get to learn more about Frankie, it's going to be that like Frankie was, or Cody Flam was basically like fucked up to the point where they thought that like he was dead, which is why he had to put himself back together and make himself like a cyborg basically. That's kind of like, I think that's like a pretty logical.
Yeah, that's sound.
To me. I mean, I don't know.
That is sound. That's very sound.
It's just crazy because like Frankie knows everything, and it's just
he's integral,
super integral.
Because that they're probably gonna try to go after him next.
Yeah, they have to because he's the one. Because they also said that like he's the one with the blueprints, which makes you think that the whole time like he was going somewhere to like hide them, or
and it's like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
He literally has the blueprints for the ancient weapon.
Yeah.
But he hasn't used it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what is he really about?
Yeah.
And he's him and Luffy now have a common enemy. So now they're going to fight together.
Correct.
It's popping off, dude. The literal last thing that we read was, Paulie and Luffy, now that they know the identity of CP9, they're going to try to take them out in Iceberg's room while they can.
When they busted, are you saying when they busted?
When they busted.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And,
when they busted.
When they busted. He tells them about the 6 powers. And he's like, I've studied in this ancient art of 6 powers, their iron bodies. What was it? Like the kicks,
Tempest kick, finger pistol.
The finger pistol. I think those are the only 3 we saw, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, you've seen them use other, but they just haven't named them yet.
That's probably how Kaku's his name, right?
Kaku.
That's probably like how he was like running so fast and like doing all this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they're crazy.
It just, but the way that they set it up too is like, okay, yeah, these guys, once they are inevitably, I feel like in one way, shape, or form, like defeated somehow, some way. Now the knowledge of the 6 powers is going to be, I think, now that it's known, it's going to be used by some of the Straw Hats, and
I mean you've seen it with the dials too. Every saga kind of provides something that bleeds into the next one, and it is not forgotten.
Crazy.
So yeah,
but that's the last thing we really read, and it kind of ends on Robin just saying like about her dream, like because Luffy asks her and says like, Iceberg saying this, the Galilaw's saying this, like what even Sanji and Chopper are saying this, but like I don't believe it, like because she's like, I'll do anything to accomplish my dream. I'll use whoever I have to use. And he's like, I don't believe.
Yeah, Luffy's just like confused.
Yeah,
because he's like, I don't believe you. We went through Skypiea. We were having fun. It was crazy. I just don't believe that you truly feel this way.
And that was it, man. That was it. That was where it ended.
Yeah. And
what a crazy place to end. What an emotional, like intense.
A lot happens.
And dude, it like shifts gears completely from that Usopp Luffy moment to now this like James Bond spy story. And it's just like bouncing back and forth. And there's so many things that the Straw Hats have to deal with. They have to deal with. And there was also that funny scene too, where like Sanji and Chopper are like yelling about the storm.
They're trying to let Usopp know.
Wow. But they have to deal with that. They have to deal with Robin. They have to deal with the Galileo. They have to deal with Frankie. They have to deal. I mean, like what is so crazy about this and what I love about One Piece is like Skypiea was, I think even you had said in a previous episode that, arcs can have similar structure, but that they're always completely kind of different. Like, you might meet, it might be similar in the way that you meet people and then those people become enemy or whatever, but that they're all completely different types of stories. It's almost like it's a completely different like genre of story. It went from like a fantasy to like a spy thriller
in the city, like in an urban environment.
Yes.
I think it's pretty purposeful that's what Oda was trying to do with this next storyline, especially if you wanted to incorporate like other things in the world and like kind of make them connect and stuff. Because
like,
a city's like metropolitan, cosmopolitan.
That's what I was saying too. Like it's always like spy stuff is always in like France or like Italy or like somewhere in Europe.
Just
like it definitely
like
hones
a city,
like
an
that
urban
feeling.
environment. Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's the thing too. Like people always comment on like how Alabasta is Egypt, and then this, is the Scandians, I think, or what are they called? The
Shandians.
Shandians are the
Shandians based off
the Aztecs, right? And
indigenous
the Mayans.
peoples, yeah.
And but also like where Oda's getting like inspiration from actual cultures and physical locations.
Yeah,
he's also getting them from genres too, and like each arc is like a different culture, a different location, and a different genre.
Yeah,
like
a theme, like an idea.
And the Straw Hats, like how they fit in it every time so perfectly. And even if they don't fit, like how they react and respond in that environment, that is just always so them.
Yeah.
And always just like, I don't know, it's really crazy, man. Like the more you read, the more you're just like, and at the end, I think of one of the volumes, he was talking about how, during writing Water 7 or when this was published, right, that he had just turned 30 years old.
Yeah, it was like 2005.
Really?
He just turned 30. He's like, I just turned 30 and I got married last year.
Man, isn't his prime? What the?
Bro.
I know.
Get out of
writing
30?
this shit, 30? Shit.
Drawing it, writing it, like all like insane.
No, literally insane. He's 30. He's writing it, drawing it. He got married the year before to a cosplayer that was cosplaying Nami at 2002 Comic-Con. Like this man is a goat.
He won. No, he's not winning. He won.
He won. I mean, he's won. He's made that history. He's making history. You can't deny the history makers, y'all. Sorry.
No,
you
can't deny it.
We looked up his net worth.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it? It should be up there.
Oh yeah.
He's the highest paid mangaka ever.
Yeah. He's got fucking.
He's insane.
Bronze statues across Japan.
I know.
Insane.
In his hometown.
All the Straw Hats. His hometown.
I mean, we're talking about like
Makes
statues, video games, movies, live action franchises, like
and he was like, "It's me." The whole time, it's me.
It's
It's
me.
just my headpiece. But like he said, you can make the world what you want it to fucking be, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It's just it's all mentality. That's just what it's been since the beginning of time. It's just mentality. That's all it is. We are not limited by nothing.
Damn, dude, I love it. Dude, for real.
But it's true. But that's what the author's trying to.
No,
it's literally the impossible is possible. That's literally just the entire thing of One Piece.
And it's crazy to see, like the characters do it, but also Oda himself, like, yeah, dude, like I'm sure everybody told him this was impossible. I'm sure no one would have ever believed that he would have been able to achieve the things he achieved. But he's like, I didn't care. Like I kept going. I did it. I just kept doing it. And that's kind of what Luffy's about too. Like I'm just gonna keep doing it.
He said that's probably one of his favorite parts about Luffy himself is just because he is a man of action. And like he's romanticized the idea of somebody who's good natured that is able to just change the world just through brute force, like physically, like just being like, because I can. Yeah.
And that's a thing too that people have commented on it and let us know, and we've heard it before about Luffy not having an internal monologue or inner monologue because he is a man of action. But I mean, at the end of the day, like action is what makes things happen.
Yeah.
You can think about things, you can talk about things, but action,
solutions.
and it really does. It is so incredible how if you really do stick with the story, your opinions of Luffy completely
they go up and down
change. I mean, at the beginning you're like this guy's goofy, this guy's crazy, this guy's even a little stupid. He's
pretty stupid.
I mean, he is.
He's
Let's
slow.
be real, but
he's slow.
He's a little slow, but at the same time, like you really realize, like he gets shit done. Like one way or the other, like he gets shit done. Yeah. And the thing is, whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, like it's something. And it's a lot more than I think a lot of other people who are sitting around talking, who are sitting around thinking about things
it's true.
Are doing, And so you do look at him, for me at least, in these past couple of arcs, I've looked at him and I see him as like completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and I'm sure that'll continue.
Yeah. I hope. I believe that.
I mean, Luffy has a grandpa.
That is so crazy, and we haven't even.
He's got a family, dog.
Bro,
like,
Ace.
what?
I mean, I haven't even seen Ace
I
in
miss
like
Ace.
10 volumes or something. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's just like this arc's dope. It's just comparing like the Straw Hats to CP9 as a group. It's cool how I think this is like the first time that Oda's like showing a group that's completely opposite to the Straw Hats in like ideals, and because the CP9 were a group of like they were friends with Galley Law, but then they intentionally used that trust and took advantage of the trust of friends to their advantage for an idea of evil, not even just like for a good reason, like just for personal gain and to world dominate. And when the Straw Hats are literally the opposite. And the situation with Usopp only highlights that more because of how distraught they were losing him and how they felt like the whole crew was going to fall apart when they're losing these two people, you know, and they're going to fight for those connections, you know, and when you present them with a cause, like they'll believe, like Vivi with Alabasta, like save the country, you know, but the CP9 is all about, and the CIA. Listen, they're trying to tell y'all the world government is like the main villain group in the series.
Yeah.
Like and for a main villain group is just the complete opposite ideals of everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the world government is one of my favorite villainous entities, like, or antagonistic forces in any story I've read, is just because it's a reflection on the world, and it's a really dope idea of like, oh, the world's we say it all the time, the world's an evil place, the world's a terrible place, but they're literally putting a face to it, to that concept, which is a really dope idea. And the CIA, they literally have this whole arc is dedicated to basically fighting the CIA. Like it's ridiculous. And it's going to continue. Yeah, exactly. But it's going to continue to, not every arc, but like I said, like you can tell any type of story with One Piece, but they're going to continue with these ideas and really flesh them out. So I'm excited for you guys to continue.
Bro, I'm so excited, man. I mean, thank you for being here for the first part, and definitely coming back for the second part. Woo! I can't.
Yeah, we gotta do Water 7 Saga for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to read the second part. I can't wait to talk to you about it, talk to you guys about it. I'm absolutely in love every time we do one of these episodes, or every time we read another chapter, more and more with the world, the characters, everything One Piece. It's amazing. And I think, Megan, you feel the same, right?
Yeah, I literally bawled twice. Like literally, it was like I was feeling kind of sad, and then like a character like had a line, like Chopper had that line, and I literally burst into tears like immediately. It wasn't even saying it's not. I was like, no.
It's like immediately.
It was immediate reaction to feeling so many feelings. Like it was insane. And I don't remember the last time I felt that, like reading or watching something like in a long time. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, with that said, that's gonna do it for our part 1 discussion on the Water 7 arc. It was amazing, it was intense, and we're only halfway through it. So stay tuned for part 2. Where we're gonna go even deeper, and I'm sure it's gonna get even crazier. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it this far. The one thing we have to do before we get out of here is shout out and thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, our Patreon members. Woo! Thank every single one of you guys.
Let's go, Patreon.
For your support. Patreon gang, rise up. You guys are incredible. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason every day that we get closer and closer to doing this full time. I mean, you guys, every notification, every new member that we get, I mean, we get so overjoyed, and like we get so like giddy. It's real. It's crazy. We feel it on the other end of that screen. Just know that when we get that alert, we're like so like just incredibly like blown away by your support, and it like really matters a lot. It means a lot. So thank you guys again. And if you would like to become a Patreon member or a YouTube member, to get early access to the episodes, access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, and occasionally a Patreon stream or 2 here and there, then you can go to patreon.com/volume1pod to become a Patreon member, or click join on this video to become a YouTube member. But other than that, Megan, is there anything else they need to know before we get out of here?
Yeah, if you don't if you don't have any funds or berries to spare, you can comment on any one of our videos, anything you want. You can comment a comment. You can comment algorithm gang. You will be gang affiliated once you do that, so be careful. But you can do that and access a free tip, and we see that, and the algorithm recognizes that. And please continue to support us any way you can.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your support, no matter how you show it. We love all of you. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes, which today is...
We'll be ship right back.
Ship right back is good. So there's golly law. I mean, like...
Golly law.
Golly law. Golly law.
Galley all lord.
What? I don't think you said anything. I think you made a noise.
No, it's like, oh lord.
Oh Lord.
Oh lord. Galley all lord. Galley all lord. Galley all lord.
I mean, the more you say it, the more you say it. What was the first one you said?
We'll be ship right back.
I mean, yeah. Do you have,
okay. Have a sea cow of a time.
I was not prepared with puns.
Sea bull.
You're right. It's a lot to.
It's a lot of sea bull.
The galley law, more like galley losers. All right,
galley law, more like galley see ya.
Okay, we'll be ship right back.
Okay.
Oh, that's
the first one she said.
Yeah,
that's pretty
it's not
good.
terrible.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, I thought we could maybe find a better one, but here we are, and we can't.
I didn't even think maybe.
You had no faith.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Usopp, more like Ugan.
That's just sad.
Oh God.
God. We'll be ship right back. Ready? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
we'll be ship right back.
It isn't bad. I like it.
I was really good. I pulled that one out.
I like it.
Just like I did the ship right, still ship right with me.
That was great. That was great. And no one said that wasn't good.